perhaps no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
Hello, everyone. How are you? How's everybody doing today? I'm doing good, I guess. Oh, well, chat's been a little bit busier than usual. That's nice to see. Hey, Colleen. Thanks for being here. Where did I go? I know I've been busy working, but I've been here. I've been here. Think I did a live a couple of days ago. Not sure, but I think I did. Am I muted? No? Oh, let's check, make sure. Correct microphone should be fine. Camera's on. All right. Harley is here somewhere. We're good to go. I'm here. Hey, helicopter. Sending love and light. Prayers for Jack and Lily always. Hey, Kimber. Where have I been? Has it been that long, you guys? I didn't think so. I thought I did a live a couple of days ago. Happy Friday the 13th. Thanks for coming, Seaweed. Truth and Beauty. Love that you're here. Thank you for being here. And Trail Hiker. Good to see you. Hey, little black bear. Angelina. Hope you're feeling well. Everybody saying hi to each other. Lynn. Lynn got her hoodie and she sent me pictures. It fits perfectly. Looks lovely. I'm glad you like it. And who else? Nobody. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Hey, Amy. Good to see you. And Angelina, Lynn, Cheryl, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Hey, Jessie D. Harley is here. Harley is here. Hey, Gren. Chicken Whisperer, bringing in some wood and letting the ducks out for a bit. Cute, cute. Ariel. I might have to close my window. I think I've been like hot flashing really bad today, even though it's like minus 21 out, because I just cracked the window a little while ago. And then my hand is getting cold. So window's over here. Mustang Girl, lovely to see you. Hey, Stephen Pratt. Oh, thank you. This is my I don't have time to brush my hair, messy hair day. Uh, yeah, well, he was just in here. Harley. He might be laying down. Then I need a bulldozer to get him moving. He'll be in, I'm sure. I actually made it for the start of a live, P. Walsh. I'm glad you made it. And Diesel Weasel, I haven't seen you forever. Good to see you today. Frightmare Friday. Why? Hopefully everything's good. Hopefully everything's good. Oh, so okay. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Meditate. If we have time, I'm gonna play that for everybody because it helps. It helps. It helps. I have a video. It's not related to true crime, but it's very much relatable, I think, to all of us who are following this case. And I think it'll be good for us, so I'm going to share it in just a little bit. Okay, so right. I did a live the other day and it was on Alan Legier, Ian Huntley, and then we talked a little bit about Jack and Lily. But Alan Legier, the monster of Miramichi, we had Jeannie on because she had a face-to-face encounter with the monster of Miramichi. and she was good enough to come on and tell us her story. Anyways, so when we were done talking Ellen Leger, we moved on to Ian Huntley, and I played a couple of clips. And the short one, it was 39 seconds long. Copyright strike me, and my stream was interrupted. Screen went black while I was playing the clip. My bad. It was 39 seconds. Mike MX was in the chat, and he did warn me. He warned me. He did. But I was like, fuck it, whatever. And I did it anyway, but then as soon as I got off the live and the video, once you're done your live, your video has to process in order to do replays, and then your ads and stuff get turned on, whatever. So YouTube can make their money. And then when it was finished processing, I got a strike. It went red on me. It's blocked because of that 39-second clip. Who knew? But anyways, I am trying to work out my podcasting software. It's audio editing software, but I'm trying to figure out how I can edit the video just to take that 39 seconds out so I can re-upload it in fairness to Jeannie so that her story can still be out there. But that's probably why some of you think that I've been gone a lot longer than I have been. I just did a live the other day, but it was taken down. So my bad. My bad. Tammy Cruz, thanks for being here. I think you did 2 lives the same day. Maybe. I don't remember. Sue Oilers, Justice for Jack and Lily. Olive, haven't seen you before. Thanks for joining. Bobby Joe. Hey, Dodie. Streamlabs. Keep forgetting about him. I appreciate that. Olive, thank you. Oh, we're talking about my hair now. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I finally, first time in my entire life, I'm going to be 52, I bought a big claw clip. It actually fits my hair. First time ever. I love it. Oh, you're in? Perfect. Maybe we'll do that first, just a goose frog. It's literally 2 minutes long. Connection problems? Hopefully that gets worked out. Nurse, hi. Hey, Stella. Yeah, I felt terrible. I felt terrible, but I am working on it and I will get it back up. I prefer if it could stay up as the live stream because people generally don't just go watch the videos, because I've got a number of videos that don't get very many views, but I want to make sure that people hear your story. But well, it is what it is. You can remove that section of the video in YouTube Studio. Can I? I'll have a look. I didn't know that I could do that. Like I got it downloaded onto my computer. Yeah, you guys just block Streamlabs. If it annoys you, block Streamlabs. Your sister's 52 in August. I won't even say it's a good year. Give her my condolences. It sucks. Am I on screen? I think I'm on screen. You have to ask the chatters because I mean, to me, I'm on my screen. I'm looking at me right now. Like I am on my screen. So, yes. I do still have access to it. If you have it loaded to your computer, just edit it there and reload it into YouTube. Yeah, just as a video. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Everybody seems to see me. You have me now. Perfect. All right. Let me pull up Namaste. And again, this isn't meant to be making light of anything. This is before we get started on the more serious topics. I'm just going to make sure this is big enough. Just a minute. Okay. Gonna have to excuse some of the language, but she is me, I am her, we are one, as are a lot of you. So we're going to do this. We're going to enjoy it. We're just gonna, because we are. That's why. Just because. Before we get started, true crime. So if you need to go grab coffee or something, if you're not into lightheartedness, a little bit of jokes, now's your time to take a break. And if you've seen it, okay. If you haven't, you're welcome. I'm gonna mute myself, and then I highly suggest that you follow along and do what she's telling you to do. I will not, because I've done it 100 times today. But here we go. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Kelsey, a bitch that doesn't know how to meditate. Despite my blonde hair and vagina, I don't know dick about yoga. I'm not good at exercise, but you know what I am good at? Freaking the fuck out about every little stress life throws my way. But I found a way to make it work for me. So for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to walk you through meditation for bitches who don't know how to meditate. I don't know, this feels like culturally appropriating something. Grab yourself a bottle of wine and put it within arm's reach so that if this doesn't work, you have a backup plan. Remember, because you're a bitch that takes care of herself. The first thing about meditation is that I don't know anything about it, but it is true what those motherfuckers say. It's all about your breathing. So let's do it. So right now, just follow with me and take 2 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your big ass mouth. Now that we're breathing, let's get rid of this bullshit music. That's nice. Another thing that happens when people try to meditate, keep breathing, is that thoughts just start smacking in the forehead like a big bag of dicks. It's fine if our thoughts are wandering. Thoughts are just thoughts. We are the ones that give them emotion. And what? That's something profound as fuck. You can't control a lot of the crazy shit that's happening out in the world right now, but you can control your own breath. And really try and take those breaths from deep below in your tummy. Really try and expand that. On the out breath, start to loosen everything in your body, starting at the top of your head where your overpriced highlights are, all the way down to the very tips of your toenails where that nasty ass manicure is starting to wear off. Now, if you're like me and you have really bad anxiety, you want to breathe in deeply so you can feel like you're catching your breath, because all the time you feel like you're being strangled down by the weight of the world. But in reality, we actually want to breathe out for longer than we're breathing in. Try and breathe out for twice as long as you are breathing in. Now that we're feeling nice and loose, let's focus on some good thoughts. Like when your ex starts to slide back into your DMs after you post that hot New Year's Eve photo. Remember that you are right here, right now, giving your body just a quick break, which is exactly what it needs. Breathing deeply. Let's give our necks a nice roll around. And let those thoughts just pass on by like, God damn, how tight is my neck? As we breathe out, finishing our roll around. Can you believe that we're almost done? Don't look at that fucking timer. Hey, stay with me. All those Instagram notifications and tweets and Facebook posts, they're all going to be there at the end of these 2 minutes. Remember, doing this for yourself right now doesn't mean that you're taking away from anyone else. Now, as we're rounding out towards the end of our meditation, I just want you to close your eyes and look within yourself and set an intention for the rest of the day. Say it out loud. I want to call my cousin later and tell her to stop posting those hoe-ass Instagram photos. Take our final breath. I want you to thank yourself for giving yourself 2 fucking minutes out of the day to take care of you. Bring your hands to your heart, cross your middle fingers, do this. That's a neat trick. Now I'm gonna stay and drink this wine here, bitches.
It's not bad. I think it's a good way to start when we're talking about such heavy subjects. This is incredible advice. It was actually in my Facebook memories today. I posted it to a bunch of girls in my office years ago when I worked full time in the office, and they got a kick out of it. As did I. As did I. So you know, I thought I'd share it with all of you because we can all use namaste, especially these days in this Jack and Lilly case. So April, you missed it. Hopefully you go back, do it again, start over. Replay is extraordinarily important today. Yes, Jeannie, we can all relate for sure. Namaste. Namaste and drink this wine, bitches. All right. Okay, so now that we've gotten that out of our system, we will get started. And again, I'm gonna ease into Jack and Lily, and I'm gonna give you some terrible, terrible news. I don't know if y'all saw my post on our community page yesterday. Sia, uh, Maya's mom from Tumbler Ridge, the Tumbler Ridge shooting, her daughter was shot. Obviously, we know, in the neck. and in the head. And she has been fighting for her life, and she's been going up and down. She's been making progress and then steps back, and progress and steps back. And there has been an absolute outpouring of support for little Maya. And we've been following her progress since it happened. And yesterday was the first time I think that I read into the post and didn't get a really good hopeful feeling from the family, even though they're getting all of these um all of these packages and letters and supportive pieces of mail to the hospital. It's so much that they don't know. They're trying to move hospitals, and they're fighting to move hospitals. I'm going to read the post, but they've got so many packages and mail and everything that they don't know how they're going to move it all. So this was her way of kind of asking people to keep hope alive, keep them in your thoughts and prayers, but just hold off on sending anything new for now, um, because it does seem quite overwhelming. And, you know, the support is real. And a lot of the comments were people from Tumbler Ridge saying, you know what? Give an address in Tumbler Ridge and we will help you. We will keep this stuff until you're home, and we will help you. So, but anyways, it's just so much love and support. It it does warm the heart, but I can't imagine how overwhelming it all must be for her parents. So her post says, since day one, I watched my baby's heart rate drop over and over again. I felt helpless. The only thing in my power was to ask for prayers. I've never been a religious person. However, I can recognize the positive shift when there is a collective love and positivity. Since a few had asked to send letters, I shared an address. We are extremely grateful for an overwhelming amount of support and love for Maya, and some for us and some for Dahlia. We are so overwhelmed. We need to ask that for whoever sees this to kindly hold off. We are desperately trying to transfer out of the hospital. We have received so many packages and letters. We will need a storage unit. LOL. Well over 1,500 envelopes, and they seem to come in packs of 50 daily. We aren't able to get through it fast enough. It is literally everywhere, especially since Maya has not been doing well the past week. I feel like I am screaming off the rooftops for someone to take a look, and the doctors say it's non-emergent. We ask for you to please hold your well wishes in our heart. She is deteriorating mentally and physically. And it's so sad to hear and to read this update, but I had made a comment that I would put it out on my channel in hopes that more people would get the word and spread the word to just stop sending stuff for now. It's not that they don't appreciate it, it's more that they can't take it all in and they can't handle it right now. Um, but when, you know what, when Canadians are in need, I feel like the public steps up, and all we want to do is help. And a lot of times, um, things that we can do at home, sending letters or crafts or monetary shows of support, gifts, that's how we help. That's how we step up, because that's the only thing we can do. So for now, they've asked that we just put it on hold for now. So I don't know what hospital they're trying to get her transferred to. Um, I know, and it's not the same thing at all, but I know that the Detroit Children's Hospital back in the day had a really great reputation for caring for critically ill children. Um, and I mean, I don't know how the borders work nowadays. I'm talking like years ago that it was an option to send a critically injured or ill child over the border for care. And I don't know if that's possible or if there's something else that they can do or somewhere else that they can send her, or I don't even know if it would be considered a second opinion. But I mean, I hope and pray nothing but the best for them all, and I hope that it works out however it's meant to, and that their family finds strength in the support that they have, and also in how hard Maya has fought so far. So, um, yeah, definitely seaweed, paying for meals, helping support them. Um, but they did come out weeks ago and ask for people to remember other victims' families in their, in their monetary donations and stuff like that, because they had received over $400,000 at that point. Um, it's hard to know what to say other than let's just respect their wishes and understand that they're not saying we don't appreciate it. They're just saying we don't know what we're going to do with it right now. So let's let's keep them in our thoughts. Okay. They have Ronald McDonald. Uh, it's Char's channel, but hi. Hey, Ernestine. Good to see you. Oh, congratulations on being a new grandma. Um, they did take her off the ventilator, but that was, geez, that was probably over 10 days ago now. This was just yesterday, Jeannie. I don't think it's going well. So, but for now, just, I mean, what can you do? What can you do other than respect their wishes and hope for the best? And I on my community page, I did put a link to this post so that you're free to go and uh, add a comment, just a friendly word. I don't know that she's able to read them all. There's 2.5K comments already. So, you know, show your support. That's all we can do and hope for the best, right? Literally all we can do. Um, I am going to put y'all on hold for just a minute so that I can close my window because my hand is freezing now. Just give me a sec. I cannot wait to go home, get out of here, out of this closet we live in. This isn't even, look at it. Like, that's my living room. And my bedroom and bathroom is between here and the living room. I feel like I'm living in a closet. Okay. Canada would pay for them to go to the US? Good. Sick kids. You never know. I don't know where they're trying to send her, but I truly hope that they get her the help that, you know, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine going through what they're going through. Why is my lighting so weird today? Is that better? Better. Um, I do not. I've been really following Maya's story, and I know it's not right, but we can look at it. We can look at it afterwards a little bit. Yeah, yeah, same. What kind of family to want to give to the others that were involved in that horrific day? Yeah, and I mean that was why I started following Sia and her and Maya's auntie, because Maya's auntie came out and did talk to the mainstream media, and there was an interview on the news, and she said, we're so grateful, and that GoFundMe has already raised $400,000, but you know what? And she's like, at the time they said Maya's going to need it. She's going to need lifelong care. We really appreciate it, but please don't forget there are other families who lost their children and other families who are also struggling with injuries and support. So that really kind of touched my heart. Like, you're in the midst of the worst experience of your entire life, and the future of your child is still not certain. And you're reminding people that you're not the only ones going through this. And I thought that was extraordinarily Canadian and very kind and selfless. And so I don't know, that really drew me into Maya's story. So, yes, she is. I told her. I told her. Hi, Shy, and just a clapping seal. Good to see you. I am still up north. I haven't left. I went home temporarily, remember, in January. I've been here basically since November 17th, and I'm losing my shit. Okay. And they still thought of others. That's crazy. That's crazy. Can you imagine? And it is like she did it through tears and it wasn't staged. It was just so heartfelt and so incredibly selfless. And that's I'm drawn to that. I'm drawn to that. So they got me. Thank you, Marie. Um, I appreciate that. All right. Extraordinary Canadian, absolutely. Okay. So today's live stream, I don't know if everybody was um privy to a certain rumor that had been going around, and I was, I was told, maybe not told, but I was under the understanding that I may have been the only person who was supplied with these screenshots. And the screenshots, I'm not going to say where I got them from just because I wasn't told where that person got them from. So it was very much not firsthand information. So, me being who I am, I got really, really angry and I fumed and I steamed, and my little group of mods, we commiserated and we planned our vengeance, and it was a whole thing, and then we slept on it. And then I made a couple of decisions and I went kind of to the source, and I was able to get to what I believe to be the bottom of it. Melissa, I'm going to send you the link if you want to come up in just a few minutes, okay? So anyways, the basic story is that everybody's wondering about Wayne Mackenzie and the video that was on Monsters of Sabotage. Um, we all remember Wayne's rant about Daniel and Malaya and how, he hopes the baby gets shipped away, and that Daniel's on the deed and he doesn't have to leave. And we all heard the rant over and over again. We heard it. But we were all wondering, like, who in the world took that video? And I thought maybe it was Brandon Lemieux. That's my guess. And up until I got these screenshots, that was my guess. And then these screenshots basically, I'm not going to show those screenshots, but I'm going to tell you about them. They basically showed that Tint sent the video of Wayne Mackenzie to Daleen. And then it just appeared on Monsters of Sabotage. So automatically, Charmaine thinks Daleen is part of Monsters of Sabotage, just as I suspected, And I'm angry. Like, I am angry about it, like pissed, because I've been told over and over and over again, as everybody else, that Daleen's not part of Monsters of Sabotage, yada, yada, yada. So, come to find out, I go directly to the source last night and then this morning, and I ended up getting a screenshot sent to me because apparently Tint did not get the Wayne video. He mistook the conversation that he had with the source for the Wade Paris video. So I'm going to show you the screenshot that I was given today to back that up, because obviously Daleen took it to Tint and said, "Hey, yo, you know, these people are saying that you sent me the Wayne Mackenzie video and you didn't. Like, can you please clear that up with whoever you were talking to that day?" So Tint did. And again, we're not going to see who the source is. We're just going to see who, what Tint had to say to the person today. And this I'm going to go ahead and take as good enough for me. Anyways. So this is the tail end of the one of the last screenshots that I got. I thought she was Belinda's lawyer. That's why I helped her. She is, but she's a bad person, and none of this is finding Jack and Lily. Fair enough. February 14th, and that he said, "I see," because this stuff was all February 13th, okay? So 1:47 p.m. this afternoon, not today's time, not my time. This is somebody else, wherever they're from. "Hello, I hope you're doing well. By the way, I never sent anyone a recording of Wayne. I was misunderstanding. I only had recording of Wade, not Wayne." So if you've heard that rumor and if you see those screenshots floating around, just know that it was simply a mistake by Tint. He got the two mixed up, Wayne, Wade. I'm choosing to believe it. And I guess back to the drawing board if anybody cares who's behind Monsters of Sabotage, which, I mean, honestly, I'm not. The only thing I care about is stop using my face, stop photoshopping my face on shit. I'll report those videos. Other than that, say what you want. I don't give a shit. You, you do you. I mean, if that's, I really wish they would stop being so cryptic about the information they're putting out. If it's that important and you have conviction about what you're saying, then stand by it. You know what I mean? Make it make sense. Stop with the Bitcoin floating around the fucking courtrooms and shit. Like, what are we supposed to make of that? Right? Like, you're not proving how smart you are. You're just confusing everybody. So just say what you mean. That that's all I wish for them. Other than that, I don't give a shit what they say. Makes sense? Not getting into it. You can Google it if you choose to. If you choose to. If it's true, say it with your chest. That's right. Say it with your chest. And like Belinda said to me on a Facebook post, she replied to me and basically said, like, if what you're saying is the truth and you believe it to be the truth, then scream it. Put a face to the truth. And that just doesn't go for Malaya's side of the family. Absolutely not. That goes for everybody, you know. And that's why I am the way that I am now. That if you don't want to, I understand the importance of protecting a source. If I can't say it came from you, I get that. I understand that. And I won't. But to tell me shit and then say I can't tell it on my YouTube channel, save it. Doesn't even make sense. Doesn't even make sense. YouTuber shares information, puts it out into public. So, all right, just really quickly. Again, I keep saying really quickly, but I don't really mean it because it's going to take time. I'm going to quickly open up my Facebook so that I can send Melissa a link. And then we're going to play Derwood's latest phone call. And I know I'm behind. It was like 6 days ago. I don't care. Um, where are you? His latest phone call with Hidden in the Fog. And I do have some information that I can speak to about it that I've gotten. I mean, I wasn't even gonna address it, but I might as well, seeing as how I got the information. And then, I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just another side to some of the stuff. Like he had talked about the toolbox, and I don't know. Seems like have um I have a story, I guess, as to where the toolbox came from. So, and so shall we get started or shall we wait for Melissa? I think I'll wait for Melissa. I'm going to hit the chat for just a minute. Let's see. Are you going to set up your own stream to your own channel there, Melissa? You can take a minute and do that if you want.
No.
No, why not? Have you heard from YouTube? Are they going to fix your shit or what? What's
I
going
don't
on?
know. So the last thing I sent them was Tuesday. And they said, and I said, have you found any reason whatsoever that I should not have my YouTube channel? And they have not responded.
Rude. Um, so apparent, and I don't think any of us figured that we got the full unedited version of the Wade Paris video that Tint did, but I did have confirmation today that indeed it is a longer video and it was, I don't know how heavily, but it was edited. Um, whatever. See if I can't get the unedited version, but we'll see. I heard Kent saying Tint contacted Derwood. Hey, Lori, thanks for being here. What did Sesame say? What did Sesame say? Tint has been in Ontario since the summer. And we questioned that, me and my moms. We were like, how did nobody know or hear that Tint was back in Nova Scotia? And that was one of the first questions that we were talking about. We were trying to get to the bottom of it after we, got angry and thought we've been lied to and we've been duped again and blah, 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 blah. And we started to actually analyze everything. And that was one of the main questions. Like, how can we possibly have had tint in the area and nobody knew it? I don't think it would happen. It's terrible. Chelsea, good to see you. They had an ad for the trailer for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and I don't know for sure, but I would suspect like somebody like Derwood or Daniel or somebody probably gave Tint the tip, and it's probably how it happened. The poor little girl. It is a tragedy, especially in Canada, and I know there have been other mass tragedies in Canada, I do, but when it's a school targeting 12-year-olds and a 13-year-old, I think it hits just a little different. Hello, Miss Meg. Anastasia, good to see you. I forgot. I've got um Tammy. I said hi to you, I think. See legal. I've got some good reasons, but I don't know if anyone else has noticed him go off at people and comments can flip to quite nasty quite quickly. Who's that? Um, comments where, like on Facebook, just so like I think I say it often enough, just so everybody knows. If a Facebook friend makes a post, I will see it if it's on their Facebook page. I do not follow Jack and Lily groups, so anything that goes on there are comments unless I get a screenshot. I don't have a clue about it. I mean, I didn't say that. I can't see it. You never know, but can't see it. Heather, good to see you. Mayflower, nice to see you. Wasn't the edited version only about things other than Jack and Lily? That's what I thought. Like, I don't think there's I think anything relevant he would have included. I mean, Tint has absolutely no reason to protect anybody, right? So he is planning on going to Nova Scotia to search again if it ever stops snowing. If it was Daniel that tipped tint that did not work out in his favor. No. Thank you. If her, it's bullshit. I'm so over it. Another half foot. Oh, the snow? I know. Yeah, here too. Here too. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Like, I'm literally, like, my hair is dirty. I didn't brush it. I just threw it up. Thank you. Tint was there searching for the kids in the beginning, but how was he already in Nova Scotia was the question. But I had heard that he was like in the Halifax area when that happened, doing something completely different, but like in the province. And then when the kids went missing, he went there to Lansdowne. That is what I heard. But I don't even know how it matters. But you know how it is, Sesame. Even people with fake profiles, some people think that they have to be connected and they have to be involved somehow because they have a fake profile. It's just fucking ridiculous in this case. It's just redert. Oh, Ginger's mom, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Is it okay to ask for prayer request? Of course. You always look beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. It has been a long winter and cold. Cold. Ian is at work. I'm not even sure he knows I'm alive anymore. But I have a funny story. It's not really funny, it's terrible, and I should not be telling you guys, but don't tell anybody else. Don't tell anybody I told you. But he's been using my car, like my little Nissan, he just drives to his truck and back every day because he works so much. And I need the pickup because it's so cold and it's so snowy. I prefer driving this pickup. So, okay. So, pickup truck, I park right out here, right in the back. And one of the drivers that he hired decided to park right behind the pickup truck today. And Ian knows that I have to go out every day and get my ice cap and get my Diet Coke. See, he knew. So I guess he tried to call the driver like 5 times and the driver wouldn't answer the call. So Ian used the pickup truck to back that other truck out of my way. And then he pulled the truck around the front so I wouldn't get blamed for it. But he literally smashed that truck out of the way just so I could get my ice cap. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he does like me. I was mad when he told me he did that. But still nice of him. It's like one of those, I don't know. Oh my gosh, he just texted me. Is he watching right now? I'm sorry, I told. Just a minute. I'm not kidding. He just texted me. Let me see if I'm in trouble. Is he watching me right now? Oh, no. Strangely enough, it was about the truck, but he doesn't know I said anything, so just don't tell him. Don't tell him. All right. You ready, Melissa? How are you doing? Let's hear from Melissa for a minute.
I'm not doing very well. I've had a very aggravating week and a half now. And today really just pissed me off to no end. Gave me a migraine and I went back to bed.
For what?
So I had to go to my cousin's funeral. So I went and got my car. Started it.
Stop. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. When did your husband pass away? And I'm so sorry. Was he your current husband or
No,
ex-husband? What's
cousin.
Listen, okay. Right. You did tell me that, and I was just like, I thought you said cousin, but I didn't want to say it. But okay, sorry. Continue. Sorry about your loss.
So I went, jumped in the car, started it. I have a manual. So I put it in gear, put it in reverse. And I went back out and it wouldn't do anything. It was like my wheels were chalked. I'm like, what the frick? I was like, I didn't have time to deal with it. I haven't been filming anyway. We all know this. So I went and got in the other vehicle, took off. And then I came back and I had to go to the hospital day before yesterday for more testing, Amy. And so when I got home, I got in the vehicle and I was like, okay, make sure it was really in gear, because when I don't feel good, sometimes I think something's done all the way and it's not. So I made sure it was in gear. Still wouldn't move. Won't go backwards, won't go forwards, won't do nothing. So I look it up and I'm like, they're saying it's anywhere from the transmission all the way down to my clutch. Well, I don't think it's transmission because it goes in gear. So I'm thinking it's the clutch, which is about $2,000, give or take, between having it, because they have to pull the transmission to get to one part of it. So by the time your parts and labor and everything in, it's going to be like 1,600 up to around 2,000 to have it done. And I'm just, yep, nope. It's a 2014, over 220,000 miles. So do I just say screw it and call the scrapyard? Or do I try to fix it and hope it holds out a little bit longer? Because it's been a really good car. It's one of those cars that's a really good car. You hate to see it go, even when it says, I've had enough. So I don't know. It all gave me a migraine. So I just went back to bed. And then, of course, YouTube, they won't freaking respond to me.
Well, it is Saturday for YouTube, and sometimes it's better to cut your losses, but it also depends on what options you have. You know what I mean? Like, I know anytime I have car trouble, it's instant anxiety for sure. So hope it all works out for you. So Ernestine, the receipts, it's just proof. Um, for me, a receipt is kind of just what I told you, right? It's not so, and this is no shade on anybody, but if I had taken that story to Daleen herself and said, look, your monster's a sabotage because I got these screenshots as proof that Tint gave you that Wayne video that miraculously showed up on the Monsters of Sabotage video. And so that to me is proof that that happened. Now, Daleen's proof to me that she's not, and she did not receive that Wayne video, was a message from Tint to whoever his original conversation with, saying that, hey, yo, I didn't mean the Wayne video. Only ever had a Wade video. And I saw for myself Tint clarifying that. It's just proof that something happened. Now, if I show you screenshots, receipts that Daniel has told me something, and I pull up that screenshot and I show you that Daniel did indeed say whatever it is. Now, does that screenshot make it true? It makes it true that Daniel said it, but there's no way for me to verify if what Daniel said is actually true. So receipts at this point in the game, almost useless, because anybody can say anything, and we've learned that lesson over and over and over again. My point is, if you have information and you want to talk to a YouTuber about it because you want the YouTuber to believe you, I understand that. But you don't want to be the one outed because everybody gets attacked. So you don't want your name attached to that information. I get that. I get the importance of protecting a source. But what I don't understand is telling a YouTuber information and then telling that YouTuber you can't tell anybody, let alone your viewers. You can't put it on your channel. You can't share this information that I'm giving you, YouTuber. You can't share it with anybody. Why would you share that information other than to influence that YouTuber's opinion? And I don't need any more influence because my mind is already jumbled enough with all the shit that I've heard over the last 10 and a half months. So, hope that makes sense, Ernestine. Receipts are simply screenshots, emails, something to prove what you're saying is what you've heard or what you've received. But like I said, at this point, nothing we hear from anybody involved, in my opinion, can be believed or trusted because they're protecting their own interests, whatever that interest is, and trying to influence a narrative one way or the other. So I don't want to hear it anymore unless I can share the information and you have proof of why you believe what you want me to share. I mean, I'll never tell who said it, but if you're going to tell me stuff, I'm sharing it from not from now on, but from last week on. Anything that I get is coming out. So, man, I
But
hope that
that's the
makes
thing.
sense.
Why share it with people if you don't want it shared? Then why share it in the first frickin' place?
Especially with a content creator, YouTuber, TikToker, somebody that prolifically posts on Facebook. Why are you talking about it to those people? It doesn't make sense. The only thing that makes sense is that you're trying to influence their opinion and save it. Save it for the people that haven't been here from day one and saw the stories, morph into this circus. It's ridiculous. So let's hit chat. And all we can do is take the words that come out of people's mouths and hopefully be able to make sense of it, understand where it's coming from maybe. I don't know. I don't know. We just got took for $8,900 on a motor for my hubby ordered. Yeah, terrible. Um, very beginning, Julia, thank you for being here. But very beginning, we did some meditation. I think it's very important that everybody goes back and watch replay. You can fast forward to now because that's about it. I'm sure if it's true that he and Cindy have split up, I'm sure that he will want to not even clear his name because I don't know a lot of people disbelieved him. I mean, a lot of people that mattered, but I seriously doubt it'll be me that he talks to. Um, as long as it's put out as information given by whoever told you and not said that it's fact, it can still provide information one way or another. Right. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't care if the source doesn't want to be identified. I get that. That's important to respect that. But take your secret information and obviously they know where to put it now. So it's all good. She just gets deeper as time goes on. Shit, just thought you were talking about me for a minute. Because no, I don't. I'm very much floating on the surface now. Anything beneath me doesn't even matter. Um, I do too. Worst case scenario. You've got receipts on how handsome and beautiful Harley am. Yeah, absolutely. He is. You're not wrong. I am the same. Chat GPT. It's already horrible knowing what we know now. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. And since my son's death, I trust no one, no disrespect to Belinda or Chelsea, but I just don't. This case is so out of hand, it makes my anxiety so high. It just breaks my heart. I agree. I was told, like, this was a couple of weeks ago, Gren. I had made a comment that, there's a reason why that channel only has 60 something subscribe, whatever. And I was just saying it's not getting any views. If they wanted views, they would just clear things up, like stop being so cryptic. And I was told that they don't believe that the channel wants to be well known. And I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Right. And beyond that, Mayflower, If I talk to somebody for 3 hours and then at the end of that 3 hours, they tell me you can't share this, I'd be so pissed. That's something that we make clear at the beginning of any conversation that I have, right? And usually people are good enough at this point. If they are talking to me, I don't care if you put it out. Go ahead. Just don't say it came from me. And I get that. But if I don't put it out, that means if I can't put a source to it, then it's not worth you guys knowing. It's not worth adding to the pile of shit we can't prove. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. I made a joke the other day about somebody said, well, it's not your circus, not your monkeys, not your circus. And there was a time when a few of my mods were over in one of the circus channels and they were just kind of trolling whatever. It was kind of funny and I said, actually, you know what? It's not my circus, but those are my monkeys. No offense, guys. It was just a giggle. It was funny. It was good. Um, hey, Women's Warrior, thanks for being here. I want to move on, but I keep going on these stupid explanations. Did he send you a secret message that he would love a treat? Ever since Marie Antoinette made a comment, because y'all saw him come down the hallway and he does wobble, and she said maybe he should lay off the treats. I've been looking at him a little bit differently, and I think I'm killing him with love. I buy him a bacon and egg every day. I think I should stop. I feel bad. But he's 9. Yeah. And to be honest, that whole situation, Sonny never would have done that had Wolfie not tried to turn it on her, told her to take accountability for the part she played when she literally played no part. Um, yeah, that was unfortunate. Which, by the way, it sounds like Sunny and I will be doing a high school reunion tomorrow, a live stream. There are some things that we would like to get off our chest about this case. Noticed in a lot of the videos they like to thank creators who have physically gone out and searched for the children. How many creators have been there searching? To my knowledge, like actual content creators, you would have to point one out to me. I'm not aware of any off the top of my head. If you don't want it out, don't share it, right? He did. Um, you think what's tint? It's not square. He's like an oval. But it's a good thing he's so tall because like his belly doesn't drag or anything. This just gets nuttier, nuttier. Are there? No, nope. Not that I know of. My girl is 15 years now. Walking these days is in a pram till we get to the oval, then out and about sniffing. Once we get home, he doesn't have to be on a lead anymore. We have 12 acres. He roams. He gets exercise. It's not minus 100. He'll be fine. It's a couple more weeks. Sorry, you guys. No, we didn't. She does things her way, and I do things my way. I will sit back and watch how this pans out. I have a feeling about this case doesn't sit right with me. I didn't. Okay, so he's not on a diet, you guys. He's not on a diet. I'm just not gonna, I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna kill him with kindness. We were supposed to grow old and fat together, but he gained a little bit more than I expected, a little bit quicker than I was okay with. That's all. But I didn't notice it until Marie pointed it out. Um, Harley does have milk bones, not very often. His treats are far more expensive than just the regular milk bones. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying I'm very choosy about what he gets. What? No, I'm not. Maybe I am. Like, I think it might be cruel to go and buy him a bacon and egg every morning. Every morning without fail. Like, I go get my ice cap and I get my Diet Coke and a bacon and egg. I don't eat the bacon and egg. He gets the bacon and egg. I get the Diet Coke. Every day. Every day. Okay. Are you ready for this? Have you watched this, Melissa? This newest Derwood call with Susan with Hidden in the Fog?
No. I try to stay away from Derwood.
Yeah, yeah, me too. But it's a thing. So Harley needs a gym membership. Shall on. All right, you guys are crazy. You guys are nuts. 11 months later, 11 and a half months later, get Greek yogurt and peanut butter and mix them together and freeze good healthy dog treat. Listen, Harley is allergic to peanuts. So,
Well, just freeze the yogurt then.
yeah.
But it has to be plain.
We listen and we don't judge, seaweed. We're doing this and we will start and stop. All right? We will start and stop. We'll talk about it. truecrimestorypod@gmail.com. It was scrolling across the bottom. If you just rewind a little bit, it's right where the full credit hidden in the fog is right now. That's where my email address, Skypainter. Just search me in your email box. What are you talking about? I have both of yours. I have your work and your personal. Stop it. All right. Usually by the time, like, I'll sit here and I'll be like, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll like ask you guys a question. And then by the time I get to where you guys are answering the questions, I've completely forgotten that I've asked the question. Ask Grendel. He gets mad at me sometimes. Okay. All right. So let's listen to this and we will listen to some of the information. I will stop when pertinent information comes up. Full credit, hidden in the fog, and to Derwood. You ready, Melissa?
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Hammy, and everybody else. You quit your job. You quit your job. Okay, well, I'm not going to send another bench anyway, but that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. You were good at what you did. Okay, let's do this. Oh shit, this is the Derwood video. A lot of meditation. Right. All right, let's just do it. What? Your dog is 20? That's incredible. Bet you he doesn't get or she doesn't get a bacon and egg every day. Anyway, I'm in a distractible mood today. I'm doing this. All right.
And what was it about the story that captured your attention?
Well, my cousin Patty initially captured my attention. She called me a couple. I got involved in this a couple of weeks actually before the kid went missing.
Okay. So Patty called you a couple of weeks after the.
Already, I need to break in here because we went a long time believing what Derwood is going to say now, that Patty asked him to intervene before the kids went missing and he didn't want to get involved 'cause he didn't want to get between an adult relationship. We heard that. But then I was told by, I want to say it was Cheryl, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. That according to that side, Patty didn't ask Derwood to do shit. But now I'm back to thinking if he's doubling down, I don't know what to believe. I just wanted to put that in there because it was, in fact, me that came out and said, look, Malaya's side of the family has now told me that Patty never asked Derwood to do shit. That was me. And that was based on information that they were giving me. Where now everything is in my head and I'm thinking, like, can I believe that? Or do we believe this? So keep that in mind as we move forward here.
Hey, Shar, before you go forward on that, just play devil's advocate here for just a minute. And God, I hate to do this since it's Derwood, but if Patty said something along the lines of, Cousin Derwood, I just don't know what to do about Malaya down there and that Daniel situation. It's just not good. We really need to get her out of there. Okay. She didn't technically ask Derwood to do anything. But maybe in Derwood's mind, being the weird, warped little mind that it is, Derwood took that as, well, she's asking me for help. She's asking me to do something. So, God, I hate to play devil's advocate here and give another view of it, but I listen and I judge. So, just say it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And the fact is, the only person that could clear that up that would be more credible, unfortunately, is Patty herself. Did you say it or did you not say it? Did you ask Derwood to do this or did you not? And at this point, and it's no offense to Patty, I don't know that I could take it on its face. I don't know that I could trust it at this point. There's too much damage done, I think. I don't believe Cheryl. I have no idea what to believe or who to believe, so I have to believe nobody. Isn't that sad, Sesame? Well, what we can believe from Drunkwood is he said the kids are buried in the ground. Then he claims Malaya has them on the res. Now they have been killed by a wrench. Does he say that in here? Does he say that in here? I was listening to it, but it was in bits and pieces because I was with my grandkids. Good
But the truth
impersonation.
doesn't change. If
No,
you
but
are
I will concede that the truth can sometimes not
evolve,
change. It can evolve when you remember things or you realize, oh shit, no, that was this day and not. It can evolve, so it can change a little bit as time goes on, but not this far down the road. Just not this far down the road,
and
in my
not that
opinion.
big.
Not that big. Right.
Like,
And
yes,
Derwood
I
said that
agree
Patty asked him.
it will evolve, but going from they're buried in the woods to they're hidden on the reservation is not an evolvement.
I believe that Derwood does like to see himself as a fixer. Mm-hmm. I do too. And I think there are different levels of family fixers. The people that the family looks to for advice or for help or for support. And then there are just the people that just think that they know best and they're just going to tell everybody what to do to make sure everything is going to be okay, whether it works or not. You know what I mean? There's just that energy in the family. I think there's a few in every family. Why impersonations always speak with a southern accent? Melissa does. She's very Indiana-ish. None of them is credible. I'm sorry about your guinea pig.
In my defense, guys, I'm originally from Florida, so my accent over the years has gone away. So whenever I do an accent, my actual accent comes out.
Did Derwood not say to Sonny that he thought Jack and Lily were buried somewhere in his phone call with her? He said that, but I think it was along the same lines. If Daniel is involved, the kids are not alive, and he didn't say it like that. But yeah, we can listen for leakage. That's right. That's me, and it's hell. 5 minutes in my head, everybody would give up. My understanding is Drunkwood was alluding there was a murder instrument in the toolbox. Right. And I have a story about that when we get to that part. Because I do have Daniel's account of where that toolbox came from and kind of some of the rumors that were floating around at the time. Derwood said there was a wrench in the toolbox and is under 3 feet of snow. Why would you not take it to the RCMP, Derwood? Here we are almost 1 year and you are withholding evidence. It's not evidence, helicopter grandma. It's at best a misunderstanding on Derwood's part. At best. And that's, again, giving him the benefit of the doubt that he just doesn't know the full story. But having said that, what I'm going to tell you when we get to that part is Daniel's version. So take what you want from it. Believe what you want. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's why I asked how come he's not in trouble for saying all of what he said. It's hard to fathom why some people aren't in trouble. Just sad when there's 2 children involved. Makes me so sick. The lies are spewing everywhere. He's not withholding evidence. He offered the toolbox. Whatever. He did, but it's not evidence. I mean, there was just some chatter about having receipts. What I don't like is a content creator saying they have information from the family and saying they can't share it. It's frustrating, but I guess for some it would be maybe a little bit of a brag, like I know this stuff, but I'm sorry I can't tell you. Just trust me. That kind of thing. But for me, if I know a thing and I believe it and I think it's important, the whole purpose of my channel is to throw ideas out there. And if I know something, I want to know what you guys think about it. Especially important shit that could clarify stuff but I mean, at this point, looking back at everything that I want cleared up and clarified, me today, if I knew what I know now, back then when I was asking them to clear it up, I would know that I couldn't believe whatever their clarity would be. So none of it matters to me anymore. None of it. Unless it comes from the RCMP, how sad is that? All right, let's move on. Everybody is onto this toolbox, so let's get to that. You good with that, Melissa? We're good?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
No, she actually called me before the children went missing a couple of weeks, before the children went missing.
Okay. And what did she call you about?
She called me for my advice on a car, whether she should co-sign a car for Malaya. Like I'm into old cars and that. And I bought, like I look for wise on them.
Okay. You're breaking up a little tiny bit. So Patty called you to ask your advice about co-signing a car for Malaya. You there, Darren?
Yeah, I just switched back because our sound seems to be breaking up that other way.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go this way.
Oh,
No, Patty and I, we've been in contact all our lives. Already close families and cousins between both Ulster County and Worcester County. And she called me about 2 weeks before the children went missing. And I look around for some of my friends. I was into the mechanic business and that for a while when I was younger, and I know a little bit about vehicles. And Patty was sort of just wondering if there was any good buys around on any decent vehicles. And she was asking me if I thought she should co-sign a loan for Malaya to get a car. So she stated to me that Malaya was living out in the country, and at that time I didn't even know where, and that she had small children, and that they were driving an old rattle trap that wasn't safe. And Patty was concerned about that. And I sort of was curious as to why she wanted my advice on it. But anyway, I asked her what's the deal, and she said, "Well, I'm thinking about co-signing a car for Malaya, but Cindy doesn't want me to." And I knew that Patty raised the kids. Like they lived, Hayden and Malaya lived at Patty's most of the time. So Patty and I know each other very well. We can talk, we could always talk very personally about anything. And I said, "Well, what's the problem, Patty? Why would Cindy not want you to co-sign a car for Malaya?" And she said, "Well, I don't know." She said, I'd like to. What do you think?" And I just told her, "Well, Patty, I look at it this way. My boys, I kind of spoiled my boys and took grief for it sometimes. But I said, Patty, how are you going to feel if they do have an accident in the car with little kids in an old rattle trap, and then you're going to feel guilty the rest of your life if they get hurt or something." And to be honest with you, Patty and I can be very honest. I said, "Patty, you've got no shortage of money. You could buy her a car outright, not
right.
financially. So other than that, Patty," I said, "I just worry about feeling guilty about not doing it later. So if it was me, I'd do it." She said, "Okay, I'm gonna." So that was 2 weeks before the kids went missing.
Okay.
Actually, it was a little more than 2 weeks before the kids went missing. So anyway, then she called me back again, and she said, "Darren, I want you to come over for a visit." And I said, "Okay." So anyway, I went over, and she said, "Look, I'm concerned about Jack." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Jack's showing up with a couple black eyes and scratches and that, and I'm wondering if Daniel's getting rough with him." And I said, "Well, I don't know, Patty. Like, what can I do? What do you want me to do?" And she said, "Well, you know Daniel, and you know Mackenzie's not over there." And I said, "Well, I know Daniel very slightly from a few years ago being a friend of my son's." And I said, "But I haven't seen them around much. They live 20 or 25 minutes away, and I don't really see them." And she
Sorry, couldn't find my unmute button. So yeah, he explained that law enforcement didn't want the box. Am I the only one who understood what he said? I did. So I'll just tell you now. I'm not a cliffhanger person, and it's taken a while to get to where I want to get to. But according to Daniel, okay, this toolbox that Derwood has, Derwood got it from Jordan. And I remember we heard a rumor that Daniel was seen unloading a toolbox at Jordan's house. Now, this is before the kids went missing, Daniel he found that toolbox on Marketplace and he picked it up. And what he was looking to buy was a drill. And a drill was in the toolbox, but the rest of it he didn't have a use for. He allegedly took it to Jordan's after the kids went missing. But from my understanding, the toolbox was, he found it on Marketplace before the kids went missing. It was just hanging around. And then sometime after the kids went missing, he kept the drill and everything else went to Jordan's. And I believe Jordan took the tools that he wanted out of it and gave the rest to Derwood. That is the story. Take it or leave it. That's the story with the toolbox that I've been told.
Exactly. Well, if you see Daniel, will you ask him about Jack? And just inquire.
Right.
Sure everything's okay between him and the kids. I said, yeah, I will if I see him, Pat. So a couple weeks went by, and I had been hearing about two kids that got abducted out in, but when I heard about it, they were telling us around Tim Hortons that it was in Glengarry Station, which is it's a few miles east of Lansdowne. So I never thought in the world that it was Malay or Malaya's kids, that it was Jack and Lily. I never thought it was this.
Okay.
So then, Jesus, it was about 2 weeks after the kids went missing, and I had been hearing on somewhere that the Mounties were making an inquiry about a black SUV. Did anybody know anything about a black SUV? It was parked at the old Lansdowne gate. And I never thought any more of it. I heard about it.
There's also, I'm sorry, Polly, you had said Daleen is the only one that thinks the toolbox is important. Apparently, and according to Derwood in this, I do remember this part, he said that he got the theory from the private investigator. And I don't remember the exact words, but I think he alluded to just something that she came up with all on her own. Like he didn't have any hard facts, not that he does, but you know what I mean, to back it up. And he offered it to law enforcement, and because there was a rumor that he wouldn't give it up or wouldn't admit to it or whatever, and then he said that he did. He told John that it was under 3 feet of snow. If he wants it, he can dig it up and take it to him. So I don't know what importance it has at this point. If it was offered to the RCMP or Major Crimes and they didn't want it, I don't know. Why wouldn't they want it anyway? Just to see. Just to see. When we get to the end of this, we'll talk about the sighting in Saskatchewan because there was a man picked up in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, who was wanted on SA charges in New Glasgow. And no real confirmation of when he was in that area, but he had committed serious crimes. But he was picked up recently in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, but I'll pull him up here in a little bit. Do you have anything to add, Melissa, before we carry on?
Nope.
Okay, here we go.
Jesus. Who pulled in the yard? I was fixing my old truck out back in Foxbrook, and who pulled in the yard? This black SUV. Who jumped out of it? But Daniel Martell. I hadn't seen him in, I don't know if I could ever remember seeing him for 3 years or more. And he had another fellow with him, and there was a lady driving. So anyway, we got talking, and I said, Jesus, Daniel, what's going on with the kids? I said, Daddy asked me to check in, and he said, then I knew that the kids were gone.
Right.
I knew that, there was people talking about Daniel killed the kids in Derwood and stuff like that. He's talk. Anyway, I said, well, Daniel, what's going on? Because I said, and I said to him, I said, Daniel, I don't believe you'd have anything to do with killing 2 children from what I knew of you and know of you. couldn't seem to be in you. He started crying, and he said to me, Darren, I never did anything like that. It's Cindy starting all this stuff. She hates me. She hates my guts. And I said, well, I don't know, Daniel, what to tell you. I said, but one thing about it is, Daniel, and just, I don't know, I'm just a regular guy. But I said to Daniel, I said, they're related to me, Daniel. He said, I know, that's why I'm talking to you. And I said, well, I said, if it turns out that you did hurt those kids, I'd end up being your enemy pretty quick. Because I said, can't put up with that. So no, Darren, I never did it. I never. So I said, okay. And when they pulled out of the yard, it struck me. All of a sudden, it struck me. Jesus Christ, the Mounties have been inquiring about a black SUV, and there's a black SUV.
Okay. I'm going to stop you there. I have quite a few questions I want to get through. So I'm just going to ask you to, if you could, and I know you have a story to tell. As I ask questions, just try and keep to that question.
I get you. I don't want that alone.
Okay. So the other question that I had, and this is curious because I think it's a general question, but I think it's an interesting one to ask you. A lot of people follow cases, and a lot of people in that local area have followed this case really, really closely. You decided to speak publicly. You've had a lot of criticism. What led you to do that?
Because I watched time. I saw it. Of course, I started watching about what people were saying about the situation. And I watched a couple, like I didn't know anything about crime podcasters or anything like that. I didn't know who they were, what they were. Jeez, I watched a couple of them and they just went on and on and on about Daniel Martel killed those kids. Daniel Martel killed those kids. And after a while, it started getting to me because I just, Daniel and I, after that first day, Daniel called me the second day and he asked me to meet him at Tim Hortons in Westville. So, I mean, Patty drew me into it, then Daniel drew me into it, and Daniel started presenting his case to me to prove to me that he never killed those kids. And I knew everybody. So what got me is after Daniel and I talked, and I checked a few things out just because I knew a lot of the people that were involved and around the day that the kids went missing. I was hearing all kinds of stuff. People were telling me that. And everything Daniel was telling me for the first while was the truth. And it convinced me that no, Daniel had nothing to do with killing those kids.
Okay.
So listening to these podcasters that were just right, Daniel over the cold.
Can you pause it?
I couldn't handle it. So I went online and said, look, there's no murder.
Okay. So something I noticed he said, and maybe I misheard this, but he said he knew a lot of the people involved and a lot of the people that were there the first day the kids went missing. Well, what do you mean involved? Like, is he using involved as in he's getting ready to tell us who he thinks did it for like the fifth story now?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, because he's never once come out and said these are the names, right? Other than the res or the First Nation CPS or provincial CPS, he's never actually named names and pointed fingers. And somebody said, like, why hasn't he been charged with obstruction? Because this is just my opinion, but I think the only thing he's obstructing, I think, is the online coverage of the case. Like, I don't think that the RCMP are being obstructed by Derwood, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, he's not. Obstruction would be I don't know,
Must be different
would
in
be
Canada.
obstructing the court, like their investigation. And if he's not, I don't know, if they're not, what do you mean? Like, how would somebody commenting online but not actively doing anything to obstruct their actual investigation, if they're not paying attention? They've probably
Because he
investigated
did.
him. How?
He
How? If he's giving
remember
tips,
he
if he's
went and
giving
said
in,
if they don't release his entire interview, that he was going to release it himself and all this. So he did an interview with them. He did an interview with RCMP. For in America, all you got to do is lie to the wrong cop one time, and he can charge you with obstruction.
I mean, don't make me defend Derwood here, but that doesn't mean obstruction, okay? So if Derwood truly believes what he's saying, just because his tips are wrong, that doesn't mean he's obstructing anything but our earballs. You know what I mean? Like it's the only obstruction that when you think about it,
That's
if
not
they're not
obstruction, that's assault.
right. But you know what I'm saying? If he's giving, it's like the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are tipping in information. They truly believe that the RCMP and major crimes, they have to follow up every lead. If everybody was just assumed to be lying and not just believing something that's not true, there would be so much obstruction going on. But to me, if they don't put any weight in Derwood's story, and if he's not trying to manufacture or twist things or steer their investigation away from what actually happened. And who knows if he is, but just in my opinion, he's not obstructing major crimes investigation is all I'm saying. Just because he's obstructing us and our opinions doesn't mean he's obstructing the actual criminal or not missing persons investigation. That and seriously, honestly, just my opinion. April, thank you so much. And also, I don't know if I said thank you to Trail Hiker. Thank you, Trail Hiker, for that as well. Group meditation was great. It was a good way to start. I love it. And I'm super way behind in chat just because we're listening. What else? What else do we have? The day after the kids went missing, the toolbox? I don't know where you are. I'm sorry. No. Bacon and eggs for breakfast. She's 12. Aw. Patty drove him? Drove him where? I didn't hear that. Remember Derwood said he never met Daniel before? Yes, he did. That's exactly what he said. And apparently, according to Daniel's side, Daniel did not call him to go for coffee right after the kids went missing. That didn't happen either. Why would Daniel have to convince Derwood that he didn't have anything to do with it? He didn't. Derwood said that, I believe, but Daniel has said that didn't happen. He was not going for coffee with Derwood. It didn't happen. Again, here we are, right? Let's we're not even throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. We're tossing it into a fucking ceiling fan at this point. Like it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But we want to keep talking about Jack and Lily, so here we are. Thank you, Derwood, for the content. Let's continue.
The kids are lost in the woods, and there's certainly no murder. I don't believe Daniel and Malaya killed these kids.
Okay,
So the argument started.
okay, all right. So going back to May 2nd, 2025, the kids disappeared. The surrounding woods are combed, searched. When you look at the early hours of that investigation, what stands out to you the most?
Well, now you've got to understand that I not even on the over a month after the kid went missing. I had never been out. So
Okay.
she asked me first about the early was with Malaya changing her story 3 times within 20.
Yes, helicopter, thank you. This is a really great example of what actual obstruction of justice is. You are impeding their investigation. But what I'm saying is whatever Derwood is doing or has been doing is not obstructing their investigation to me. Just in my opinion. They interviewed him. They probably followed up on his information and decided it's not related. So everything that he says, it's the freedom of speech so far to date in Canada. He's allowed to say what he wants to say as long as he's not accusing any one individual of doing something um, criminal. Um, he's not stopping them. He's not obstructing major crimes from conducting their investigation or from finding out what happened to Jack and Lily because his information is irrelevant to what they're doing. However, if Janie is not allowing them to investigate inside her RV, that is the very definition of obstruction. That is the difference. Thank you, helicopter.
I think you misunderstand what I meant.
Okay, go ahead.
So when I'm saying that I'm surprised he hasn't been charged with obstruction of justice is from the beginning when he told RCMP they're on the res, right? So that causes the RCMP to stop going down this path and send somebody to go down this one. He was intentionally trying to divert resources, whether it was intentional on his part or not. Now, I don't believe a thing Derwood says, but the RCMP would have to go look at that, right? They would have to divert resources. And if he knew that it was false information he was given and he's diverting resources. Now, I don't think necessarily doing that once, twice, or, in a missing kids case is necessarily obstruction. But in America, if you've got a dick cop, you can give them a false name when they pull you over, or you can tell them Joe Smo down the street, I think, is making some math, and you might want to go check that out. And it's false. They can charge you if you get the wrong one with obstruction of justice. So I don't necessarily think him saying what he's saying now that we know Derwood's full of crap, now that we know Derwood's not trustworthy, right? Now that we know that's not obstruction. In the beginning, when he was diverting resources, when he did his interview to the res and all this other stuff, is where I think he should have been charged with obstruction. Or could see him getting charged with obstruction, I guess I should say.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. If the RCMP had to take, but why would they do that though? I mean, public mischief, Mike. Hey, thanks for being here, and Trisha, thank you. Public mischief would be more like it because again, it's just following up tips and leads. And if Derwood, even if he didn't truly and he was obstructing and he was just trying to throw them off or whatever, but if he acted and and stuck with it with conviction that he truly believed the kids are on the res, even if he says it for 5 years straight, that's if they're not considering it as relevant and pertinent information and investigating it every single time he says it, I mean, they probably could, but in my opinion, he's not diverting resources from their investigation because it's not credible information in that they can't corroborate anything that he's saying.
Are you
Basically.
talking now or then?
I'm talking the whole time. Like if his information led them anywhere, the kids would be found. But that doesn't mean he's not allowed to continually believe that the police are right or wrong, a bunch of arrogant, incompetent clowns, his words, not mine, and they're not investigating and they think they know what happened to the kids. He can say that he wants. I mean, it's probably not going to bode well for him when it's all said and done if he's out here slandering the police in the investigation, especially because I think he's wrong on his theory and his opinion of the police. It's just my own thoughts,
I
but he's not
agree.
actually obstructing their investigation because his information is irrelevant. It's like we tell people all the time, if you don't want to read it, if you don't want to hear it, scroll on. So he's like a fly in their ear at this point. They're not diverting anything. They followed up a lead like they do with the hundreds of others they get. And if it led nowhere, they move on. And now he's put into the pile of keep your eye on this guy for sure, but his information, unless we get something to corroborate any of it, it means nothing to us. And that's why they don't want the toolbox. And that's why they don't want the rest of this shit. Not saying it's right or wrong, but to me, I don't think he's obstructing their investigation.
I
Just my
can
opinion.
agree with that. As far as they checked it out once, and now he's in the "we don't trust you" category. I mean,
Yeah.
I
And what
can,
about following?
I can understand that. I'm just saying that if he had the wrong person here in the States, he would be charged with that because he continues to keep going with it. And then when it's not the reservation, well, they're buried. Okay, well, they're not buried. Well, they're here. Well, they're there. So that's where I'm saying he could be charged here in the States. But I can understand they will take one or two maybe tips tops that, and then say it's not credible the first one. Okay, give him a second chance. The second one isn't credible. Okay, he's no longer in the credible pile. Take anything he says with a grain of salt and put it in the BS pile. That would not be obstructing. I can agree with you on that.
And following Malaya? That's isn't that stalking?
That's what
Absolutely.
I
He
would
could
say.
definitely be in trouble with that if if he was photographed and videotaped like I've heard he has been, he could be facing charges for that, or he might have received a warning, or you know what I mean? Like that's not okay. Absolutely. There are other things.
No,
That doesn't mean he's obstructing investigation. I don't know if I would even call it intimidation. It's stalking.
it's
I don't know.
definitely stalking, but it could be intimidation if she is in fear, because that's what intimidation is. That's what they got the boy who killed my son on, was intimidation. Even though he admitted to the police that he killed my kid, the only thing they could prove in court was intimidation.
Yeah. No, exactly. And yeah, no, that's not okay. That's not okay by moral standards, and it's not okay by legal standards. So, right. The definition is willfully attempting to pervert or defeat the course of justice. Derwood isn't obstructing. Trisha, thank you. Lying to police, you don't know that he thought he knew he was lying. You know what I mean? Now, if somebody is guilty of something and they're saying, I didn't do it, or look here, or I didn't plant the blanket, and they find out that, but they have to prove that. And I just don't think that Derwood is lying. I just think let's move on. Um, People were doing that because she is sus since the beginning. She reported everyone, including Belinda, who did nothing wrong. Yeah. And to me, and I don't even care how it sounds at this point. I said at the beginning, we need to put attention and put pressure where pressure needs to be put. And at that time, I was speaking of Daniel, and then that shifted to Derwood, and then that shifted to Janie, just as more information came out and my beliefs evolved. And now I'm right back to we need to put pressure where pressure is needed, and I'm back to Malaya. I really am. I'm back to Malaya. Because you cannot explain to me why you don't look for missing kids privately. Fuck that. That makes no sense. That makes you sound stupid to say that. Just saying. And
Isn't that what
Jenny,
Chris said?
I don't know. Is it? Yeah, you're
Him-
right. It is.
He was
But
searching for him and Katie were searching for Sebastian privately. Bullshit. And I don't know that I'm on Malaya, but I definitely think that Malaya would snap and tell the truth with pressure before the other two. And I think the second one to snap would be Janie.
well, the fact to me, and I mean, I don't get it. But the fact that Janie spoke to a YouTuber who is not kind to her and has, his analysis has led him to believe certain things pretty steadfastly, and she still talked to that YouTuber, tells me that she is pretty desperate to get her story out. So I don't think you're wrong about Janie. I think very little bit of pressure placed the correct way could get the truth out of some of these people. But some people, they're just so convinced of their narrative that I don't think anything is going to make I don't think anything is going to make a difference. Derwood is just a distraction to YouTube coverage. What happened to Jack and Lilly? And is any of this going to matter? Don't get me started on that, Blue Jay, because this live stream it'll end. Because no, it won't. But we were talking about the case and this information. And do I think this information is going to matter? That's unfortunate, but no, I don't. I don't. But I wanted to, okay, I get that Derwood is wasting time to find Jack and Lily. Imagine the time wasted and the resources that were used, but Derwood keeps doing it. But are the RCMP tagging along with him? I say no. I say they took his information, followed up on his leads or his tips, and decided it wasn't relevant, and now he means nothing to them, is my point. Lying to the police to redirect them in another way is kind of obstruction if they can prove he's lying. But if he believes what he's saying, that's not obstruction. That's it's not vexatious prosecution, but it's definitely habitual tipping if he's tipping it in, but I don't think he is. Like I don't think he is. I don't think he's tipping this shit in. I think that he's talking to major crimes anytime he thinks that he's got something new. And if it's new, then they'll have to follow it up. But I think he truly believes it. Look up public mischief. When I hit play again, Mike, I will look up public mischief. Pretty sure you're not allowed to follow someone. That's right. And because he believed that the kids might have been taken by First Nations, your beliefs aren't considered obstruction. Right. RCMP can also charge. I'm sorry, I don't want to forget about what Mike asked me to do because I will. Melissa, will you remind me? Can you remind me to look up public? Never mind.
Yeah.
RCMP can also charge someone for making false statements to police or filing a false report. So think about all those combos Daniel said he had with the police. Right. I agree. It absolutely is. And I think it would be a summary offense. Like, don't forget, Derwood was at family event where Malaya was and Malaya left, intimidating and stalking Malaya. Yeah. He's not impeding the investigation if they're not giving him any credibility, Helicopter. I'm sorry, he's just not.
Okay, I have it.
Okay, thank you. Good, because I fucking forgot and I clicked off of it. Yeah. The ramp are scrambling for information And these babies, and he's told how many different stories. I don't understand how it wouldn't be a form of obstruction. To us, it is shy. But we're just taking for granted that the RCMP are just listening to every word and hanging off every word he says and be like, oh, that must be it. And then running everything over to whatever Derwood says and investigating it. And then be like, oh, got us again. That's not what's happening here. He's just saying what he's saying. And the police, I don't think it's credible. So that is not obstruction. He's not taking them from anything. Or I don't know. We'll look up public mischief. He was expressing his belief about the children. Who doesn't have a belief? Not necessarily accurate. It's called freedom, right? And if we were all committing obstruction of justice because we tipped something in that we truly believe could be credible, like I said, you guys, don't make me defend Derwood. I'm just saying facts. He's not obstructing. If the RCMP believed Derwood is full of shit, then why does it change now? Shara, once you tell a lie and Derwood keeps talking, the evidence deteriorates from his words. How? How? His word was never evidence. Never. It was simply tips. I'm sorry, Helicopter. I just don't agree. I understand where you're coming from. I do. And I get that way of thinking. But if you think about it in the way of an investigation and what it takes to actually obstruct justice, he's not doing it. Unless I'm wrong and the police are hanging off his every word and waiting for Derwood to come out with his next theory. It's just not happening. He doesn't have any tangible evidence that he's giving them that has led them anywhere. So at some point, if he continues and they are following everything up and they think he is causing mischief or whatever, to the point that he starts to obstruct their investigation, that's a different story. But I just don't think they give him enough credibility to pay him any attention. He's a fly in their ear. To me. In that interview, Susan leads the toolbox. She asked Derwood about a toolbox, and he thought about it for a short bit and then rambled on with his story. Yeah, I'm really telling the police false information about a missing persons case. But does he really believe it? Like I say, it's like the woman that tipped in that Lily and Jack were getting haircuts or whatever in the States. Is that obstruction? Depends on intentions, right? And you have to prove the intention is to mislead the investigation. Come on, you guys, you're making me pinpoint what I'm saying, and I don't know shit. This is just my opinion. I've also heard that you can hear the laughter down the hallway when he comes out with a new theory. Yeah, and he pisses us all off, doesn't he? But I'll guarantee you the RCMP don't give two shits about Derwood O'Grady or Darren Geddes. Get a gag order.
Does that mean I get to gag him? Like I get to choke him?
Whoa. That could be misconstrued. You meant that in a loving way. I am sure of it.
Totally. With all the love possible, with my whole heart.
Okay, Shard Devil's Advocate. What about Derwood's son? What about him? What about him? Because to me, the only involvement that Jordan has, and the only reason Jordan's name is known in this, is because he defended his dad. Like, again, if he had leads or tips, or if he gave the investigators any information that he truly believed, or that the police thought that he truly believed, no matter what, that's still not obstruction. Now, if somewhere down the road, we find out that the toolbox that Daniel took over to Jordan's because there was a wrench in there and it had blood on it, and Jordan threw it in the lake behind his house and it sank, and we find that out later, that's obstruction. That's tampering with evidence. But I mean, none of that's not even a thing. Just don't repeat what I just said. I'm on a live stream right now, but that was just an example. Do you know what I mean? That's still, you still have to give me an example of how. What do you mean? Like Jordan what? Jordan is nothing other than a guy who is defending his father, right or wrong, in our opinion. To me, that's all he is at this point. Darren admitted the police told him to stop following her. Was he given a official warning? Like, I don't know. Darren is out there spewing for a reason. Same with his son making threats. Remember, Darren is related to Patty, then Jordan is related to Malaya, but he's never met her. You guys, you're making me defend them. I don't know them. I'm just saying what's in my head today, and I'll probably change my mind tomorrow. This one I want to read. The truth is, yep, innocent people are pleading for their kids, not hiding. Agree with the deception detective on this one. I agree too, and not with Dee Dee, because we've been saying that for 10 months. And I've been saying it even louder since I started my channel. Why aren't you looking for your kids? Don't give me this, I'm looking privately bullshit, because no, you're not. No, you're not. What if Derwood's position is purely innocent? I wouldn't put the word purely anywhere around Derwood, just saying. Just saying. What if he's being used to discredit information? As Janie said, he is a BSer. So what if there's truth mixed with the BS? Just a perspective. So what if he's being used to discredit information? As Janie said, he is a BSer. So what if there is truth mixed in with the bullshit? Just a perspective. I don't know. Maybe I don't think I still don't think that, I don't know. If he's purposely doing it, the RCMP would have to prove that, but they would have to have reason in the information to believe he is purposely saying shit to discredit valuable information to lead the kids away from, or to lead the RCMP away from the truth. Obstruction. But how would you prove that? If nobody's talking, how would you prove it? I do too. I also don't think he's well. Purely using the boy who cried wolf. Why would Malaya call the RCMP and say Cody took the kids to New Brunswick? I believe this is, and it's probably been answered already in chat, but I believe, in my opinion, that the mom whose kids went missing and is up all night trying to think of where they could be, to me, I would be looking everywhere. I would be taking everything. And from my understanding, and I don't know, but I heard that Cindy first thought maybe Cody took them.
That
So
wouldn't be
maybe
unusual.
that was in her head. Maybe that was in her head, and it was just something she thought was important for them to track down, which it is. It absolutely is. 100%. Sorry, what is this? What is this? Just a second. Just a minute. What the heck is this? Joyous! Dear, would drive me nuts. All of us want the truth. Thank you. You're gonna bring tears to my eyes. Thank you. That is very kind, very generous. Thank you. Please, Melissa, what were you saying?
it wouldn't be unusual. And I'm not saying Malaya calling and saying Cody took the kids. And I know Chelsea's here and this may upset her and Belinda, but it would be normal, at least in the States. So I would think Police 101, Law Enforcement 101 would still be the same in Canada or Nova Scotia, is if you have a parent that has primary or sole custody and those two children go missing and they have the same father, but the child that has a different father doesn't go missing, that you would instinctively, in the course of your investigation, go check and see if the father had those kids. That would be normal. Now, her calling in and saying, well, Cody took them, we don't know that's her exact words. She could have said, hey, have you checked out Cody? Did you look into him? Like going through all scenarios. I know when Nick was missing, I was looking everywhere. Places I didn't think he'd be to places I wondered if he was. So for law enforcement to then get a hold of Cody and say, well, do you have the kids? Well, can we come in and look? Can you prove you don't have them? And come back several times is not that unusual. Like with the Devlin Tate case that I had covered, they checked his biological mom's place. They went there 5 different times. They searched it 3 times. I mean, it's just in the course of investigation, that's a natural thing to do.
Absolutely. Anybody with the ties to the kids would have been, and they did, right? They did. They showed up, I believe Belinda said, in the middle of the night to talk to Cody, to make sure the kids weren't there. That is a tip. And that shows that the RCMP followed up on that tip and the kids weren't there. But absolutely, I want to talk about this one, universal law truth. How's it going? I think Darren has cognitive issues, and I don't mean any offense by this, and I'm probably going to say it in a little bit of an offensive way, but if he was a boxer back in the day, like we've heard, those men can be a little bit punch drunk, right? Like if we even want to look back at like, it was a terrible rendition of it, but look back at the Rocky movies, right? Like he wasn't born sounding stupid, and I'm not saying that Derwood sounds like that, but they do, you know, you can't be concussed and punched in the head as a hobby and not have any kind of effect. And it's called, I don't know what the right word for it, but I've always used the term punch drunk. So that's my opinion. Well, then Derwood needs to be checked mentally. Agreed. What about Vincent Mallory? How is that different? It's not at all. It's not at all. Vincent Mallory, from my understanding, says that he tipped information in and he claims that the RCMP never went to investigate until more recently, right? If he was tipping in incessantly, check my property, blah, 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 and they never did, that's on the RCMP. That's not on Vincent. But if they went out there and found nothing to corroborate his information, even if he still believes that and is still tipping in the same stuff, that doesn't equal obstruction. I am going to, do you want to talk or should I play this for a little bit? Because I'm going to,
You are like 30 minutes behind in chat.
sakes, this is
Um,
crazy. I am so sorry, you guys.
so I have starred a few questions. So let's hit those real quick. First of all, I sent you on Facebook the public mischief or whatever rules for Canada and Nova Scotia. So Chelsea's right here. If it wasn't for social media, this probably would not have gotten as much global attention as it's gotten. I have to agree with her there. So, question, do you think more people had their blood drawn for DNA? They all had polygraphs. I would say no. Maybe Malaya and Daniel, but I don't know about anybody else. What about you? You're muted.
I would, it depends, well, I would think so. It would truly depend on what they were testing. So, do you want to get rid of that comment because guest appearance. Here you go. Hey Moo. Hey Bubba. Hey
Cody.
everybody. All right, I'm gonna have to go and put him out. I do have this. I will pull it up before I go put him outside, and you guys can show this. What am I doing? All right. You can show
Do
this and
you
talk
want
about
me
it while I
to
go.
put it up so I have access of moving it?
Yes, please do. That would be great. Please do. And then I'll just accept it. Where is it? Did you do it?
Hold on,
Let's
let me
see.
grab it.
Trail hiker, yes. I did, and that is very true. Very true. I'll say that he was getting in the middle of Jordan was getting into a middle of an altercation between Derwood and Jordan's brother about an argument that started because of Derwood's online involvement in the case. It got out of hand, and Jordan got the brunt of that one. He did. Ooh, are you cranky? Do you need to go outside? Sorry, guys. Oh, here we go. All right. I'll leave you to it, Melissa. Me and Harley are gonna go do what we gotta do. We'll be right back.
Okay, so somebody said to look up public mischief, and I, being from the States, I wanted to make sure I put in Canada. So, public mischief in Canada, including Nova Scotia, is a serious criminal offense, Section 140 of the Criminal Code. That involves intentionally, so that's a very important word here, knowingly and intentionally misleading the police or authorities by filing false reports or causing them to investigate a crime that did not occur. So if you said that the kids were kidnapped, but you were just hiding them, you'd been misleading, right? And you're reporting a crime that didn't occur. If you say your house was broken into and it wasn't, you're reporting a crime that didn't occur. It is considered a dangerous waste of public resources and a threat to innocent individuals who may be wrongly suspected or charged with a crime. The meaning of public mischief. Under Canadian law, a person commits public mischief if they, with the intent to mislead, cause a peace officer to enter into or continue an investigation by making a false statement, doing something intended to cause someone to be suspected, reporting that an offense has been committed when it has not, and reporting that they or another person has died when they have not. So making a false statement, which is accusing someone else of an offense, doing something to intended to cause someone to be suspected of an offense they did not commit or to divert suspicion from oneself, reporting a crime when it didn't happen, and reporting somebody died when they didn't. Okay, so I don't have to give examples because they do it here. Falsely reporting a car theft to defraud the insurance company, faking a kidnapping, an essay, or a robbery, providing a false name or identification when pulled over by the police, swatting, which is making a emergency call to get armed police to a specific location, making false domestic assault allegations. The consequences and penalties. Let me, okay, I can. So the consequences and penalties of this for public mischief is a hybrid offense, meaning the Crown prosecutor can choose to proceed by summary conviction, which is less serious, or by indictment, which is more serious. Indictable offenses potential imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years. A summary conviction maximum penalty is generally 6 months in a provisional jail and or a fine. Crown attorneys in Canada often treat this as very suspicious or serious offense, frequently seeking jail time and probation for first-time offenders to deter the behavior. The difference between public mischief and property mischief: public mischief is misleading the police, lying, or false reports, Section 140, whereas mischief of property, Section 430, damaging, destroying, or interfering with the lawful use of property, i.e., vandalism or graffiti. In Nova Scotia context, as a federal law, the criminal code definitions and penalties apply equally in Nova Scotia. Law enforcement, such as local police or the RCMP in Nova Scotia, will investigate suspected false reports and may file charges of public mischief if evidence shows a deliberate intent to mislead. So, that's that.
Right. A deliberate attempt to mislead. So how are you going to prove that it's deliberate? I mean, there would be ways for sure, but the fact that nobody has been charged or warned to stop, because I've even said, like, why don't the RCMP just come out and say we've followed up on reservation implications? And no, like, why hasn't anything been? Because they're not doing that. They're not giving the public anything. But again, I just don't think, I don't know.
Well, I
I'm
think the
just
fact that it said
quickly,
deliberate intent, and it said it on the other one too, that it was intent, the intentionally misleading the police, and they would have to prove Derwood is intentionally doing that.
I'm looking for Marie's comment. Are you fat shaming Harley again? You stop it. He's 9 years old. He has earned his right to look however he wants. He's beautiful. And I'm not distracted. I am starring the comments and questions that I can answer. Unfortunately, like Gren likes to say, I am 30 minutes behind in chat, which is unbelievable to me. I want him to live longer too, and I will. I will. I'll do better. He didn't get a treat. He went outside. First thing he did was sprint after a bird. It's okay.
You need, like, we have dry freezed, I think is what it is, where they like freeze it until it's dehydrated. Like liver and heart. He would like those treats, and they'd be healthy treats for him.
He gets duck jerky. So he's fine.
Well, now I'm
He's
jealous.
fine. At the end of the day, we do not read the criminal code, so our words might be different as a layperson, but it means the same to us. Yes, but we're not the investigators, and if what they're saying doesn't impede their investigation, then they're not obstructing anything. I mean, it just is what it is. Sorry guys. I'm trying to catch up and if I've missed anything and you really, 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 really wanted it to be addressed, say it again. I don't like to. He doesn't like apple wedges. He likes bananas. Okay, moving on. Let's do this. 21 starred. I think that's pretty good. Except now I'm gonna get behind again. So maybe Melissa, you can keep track of the actual chat, and then I'm over in the start chat. Can I ask, not wanting to upset anyone, just wondering, oh, we did that one. So why does Jordan threaten? Okay. That's not how that went down. Again, it was false information given to, and I'm not excusing it. What we all heard was wrong, but Jordan had been given information that Anita was talking shit about Derwood and Jordan. Jordan does what Jordan did and was corrected after the fact. Allegedly had a telephone conversation with Anita. They made amends, and then for whatever reason, Anita sent those clips of Jordan threatening to Mike DeMann. I don't know why only that was shared. I don't know if Mike got the entire thing, including the apology and them making amends, and just didn't play those. Like, I don't know. But there's more to every single story. Cheryl and Angeline, how they inserted themselves as her handlers. Angeline, childhood friend. She is the friend that Malaya stayed in contact with, I believe. Cheryl is a little weird. It would be nice if Patty could confirm Derwood's statements if they are true or false. Agree. If RCMP are not listening or taking what Derwood is saying as dribble, at no stage that could be obstruction because they are not listening. Hence, Derwood is angry at them for not listening at point 1. You're not wrong. Is DM still talking to you? No. Daniel is not talking to anyone other than his regulars. Tracy Cook, Michelle James, D. Matz, Tinker, and 2 of those will answer my questions if I ask, which I did not. Anything that I've gotten in the last couple of weeks has literally been volunteered unsolicited, and that was just one of the things. So, Polly G, I can understand Angeline as they were childhood friends, but Cheryl, I don't get it either. For every lie, there is a bit of truth. Okay, if I tell my neighbor it is beautiful out and it is raining, would he ever trust my words again? No, hence why Derwood is where he's at in the court of public opinion. Cody was a logical response to think. Where the New Brunswick came from, though, is beyond me. Did you hear the allegation a while back that Derwood broke Jordan's... Oh, I already did that one. I think New Brunswick came from Shelby, the psychic friend. That's what I heard as well. Mayflower. CTE, thank you. I did a podcast episode. If you guys don't know what CTE is, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. But a famous wrestler, Chris Benoit, there was a murder-suicide in his family. He was guilty of it. And it was found, it's only like truly diagnosed after death. But I did a podcast episode on that Chris Benoit case, and the last, say half an hour of it, it's a 2-parter, it's quite long, but the last like half an hour of it, I kind of talk about CTE. And brain injuries, it's a thing. Head
A
injuries
lot
can
of
cause
football
problems.
players have that.
Yes, there are a lot, and it can cause like severe depression. Your substance abuse is huge with CTE sufferers. Mental illness, and then you add things like any kind of testosterone booster or steroid or anything like that onto it. You can have, it's like roid rage, right? But then if a man has roid rage or something like that, or alcoholism or something that already feeds into that, and then you have CTE on top of it, that's a recipe for disaster right there. It absolutely can. You can't tell me the DNA on the blanket has not come back. I believe it has, and I think that there's a reason why the blanket is still at the lab. Strange. What is the responsibility of the RCMP to keep the public informed and maintain trust that they're getting close? I don't think they care, Seaweed. I mean, if you're talking about community policing, it's there. I don't think there's a written standard for it. But when you go to college and you take criminal justice and things like community policing, that is one of the main tools to keep public trust. So I can't say what they're doing or why. My neighbors ate my dog's duck jerky. I bought it at the pet store on garage night, drinking beer, eating my dog's jerky. That's hilarious. Well, was Derwood corrected after the fact? Corrected by who? Nobody can disprove what he says other than, listen, to me, I think correcting Derwood is futile, it's useless, because he's just going to argue with you or call you stupid or an idiot or bigoted or satanic or whatever he has to say. But if there was any credibility to Derwood's information, the RCMP would be at least onto where the kids are right now. And not just that, they would have told him to stop fucking talking. If his information is useless and he's allowed to just keep spewing his stuff, that means that it's number one, not putting the investigation in any kind of jeopardy. It's like it's not impeding the investigation. It's not, you know, it's not what is that? It's not impacting the integrity of the case, because if it had the potential to, they would have asked him to stop talking, just like they did with Anita Maxwell. Not saying that her information is more or less credible than Derwood's. We don't know, but I do know, or I've been told, that Major Crimes has told her to stop talking publicly. When I told them, they said, darn, that stuff is better than what we make. You know what? My dad, actually, when I was a kid, I remember him thinking that pepperoni was little pepperoni sticks and he ate them and said it wasn't bad. It's disgusting, but whatever. Derwood said if Daniel got the kids away, then there's probably dead. So why is Derwood allowed to say that? More so, he's a family member who could get someone unalived. Not sure I understand the logic in the last part. I don't get that, but that phone call was just sent to Major Crimes when it was leaked. I believe Shenanigans played it. Um, so who knows if he's been talked to about that? But you have to remember the RCMP probably have a good idea whether or not they believe Daniel was involved or not. So again, it's just the credibility and the weight they're giving anything Derwood says. Doesn't matter if he said it in May, June, or March. To me. Patty, I believe we've been told she has dementia and alcoholism, I believe. Maybe RCMP have CPS files. You bet your bippy they do. Patty is elderly and she's keeping quiet to the public but is cooperating with RCMP. That's what I've been told. She's been in and out of the hospital. I think Derwood said that. Police only come out to give the public lip service, to shut them up. And not even lately, right? Like, come and shut us up. Give us something. CTE can only be. I said that. I know that. So, asking why it matters what he said means nothing to me. How is that helping Jack and Lily today? It's not. Thank you. Even Malia stated, what is said online doesn't matter. You can lie. And she said it about Daniel. Right. But the way she said it, Chelsea, I mean, come on. Come on. You're allowed to lie in public, but the RCMP, no, he's not lying to them. Like, how? How? How do they know? How do they know? Um, oh, awesome. I think the RCMP have evidence, just not enough, and they are tricking people. They have strategies that we don't understand. I hope they figure out this horrific mystery of hell. I do too. Yeah, like I hope you're not getting worked up here, helicopter. You're entitled to your own opinion. I'm just giving you mine. I know you're very expressive with all your opinions, but you are coming off as argumentative. I don't care. Whatever. I mean, if she takes offense to what I'm saying, that's kind of on her. That's not my intention. I'm good with it. That's good. Is Daniel moved out and has apartment? I have no idea. I could ask. The bottom line is nobody knows nothing. Family members can say they can say whatever they want, but the fact is they're not saying shit. The only one that's saying anything related to the case, related to the kids, is Derwood. That's what we get. It's disgusting. Is helicopter? Oh, really? Jane, you know better. You're allowed to have your I don't mind having a heated debate with you. Not at all. Right. All right. I thought you knew me better than that. Just an old woman with a heart and online videos do not mean anything. I am not attacking Sharp. Like, it's all good. We good. We good. Goose Fraba, everybody. Whew. Do I have to play Namaste again? Come on. Let's be, okay, now what do you want to do? Because I'm kind of over Derwood. Every time it starts a shitstorm, and may I just say, I know that you're either here watching or you'll be watching um the replay. Hi, Derwood. Long time. Um, no offense. I didn't mean any like slander, defamatory, whatever, whatnot. I didn't mean anything like that today. I was just interested, kind of, not really. Trying to talk, trying to listen. I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry, but I think I was fair. No offense. And Jordan, no offense. Thanks. Do not do it too. Never seen you before. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. All right. Um, um, all right. All right. Here's one. Derwood never brings anything relevant or believable to the table. He needs to be blackballed on social media to stop the uproar he causes. In my opinion, covering for Jordan only. Hmm, maybe. Malia and Cindy could show their faces once and say 5 words. They could. They absolutely could. The biological grandmother can't show her face. And my understanding is Malaya was in the house when Cheryl and Angeline and Cindy were doing the interview. Carol Bird, thank you for identifying yourself. That is not a fake profile to me. If you change your name, I don't care. It's all good.
What would it matter
If they showed their
for?
face?
Yeah, what would it matter? Because my understanding is she didn't want it to essentially like affect her job or uh, anything like that. But what would it matter? It looks worse on you, in my opinion, here. When you go on TV and you know this is going to be played, you know YouTubers are covering the case of Jack and Lilly. So you know this interview is going to be played. We want to see the emotion. We're not saying we want to see you cry, but we want to feel that genuine emotion coming off of you. And if it would affect your job that you go on a TV interview and beg for people to look for your missing grandchildren, is that really a job you should have? Like your impact on it went way down when you won't show your face or you won't come out and speak for your children or your missing grandchildren. Just my opinion. It really upset me.
I could understand, for example, and don't lay this on me, but I could understand if Janie never showed her face. She is a step grandma. She doesn't really, you know, have a lot of history, a couple of years. Even though I don't understand the reason to hide your face at all. At the beginning, I thought, okay, I get it if she's like a nurse and she has to answer questions, but we all know what Cindy looks like. Let us see her face. Be a face and a
Her name is
voice
out
for
there.
your
So if it's a patient
missing
of hers,
grandchildren. What?
well, you're saying that you could understand, like, basically because she doesn't want questions, but her name is out there. So if you're a patient of Cindy's, or if she works at a hospital and you go to that hospital and Cindy Murray is your nurse and you follow the Jack and Lily case, your name's out there anyway. People are going to ask, people are going to know you by your name. What's the face going to hurt?
I mean, I don't know their reason, but maybe it was because she didn't want to have her body language read or something. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. But when your grandchildren are missing and you haven't been a voice for them in 10 months, and that's how you decide to do it, um, I just I just think it would have been better for her not to say anything. It's more offensive to me, to Jack and Lily, that nobody wants to speak for them. And when they do want to speak for them, they're going to put up people that those kids wouldn't fucking recognize on the street. If they ran into Angeline, maybe, but Cheryl, they wouldn't know who that is. They wouldn't know if they saw her on TV. Say there are somewhere. Say they were taken and they're being well cared for and they're sitting there watching TV and they think that, oh, those are my names, but I don't know those people. That kind of sounds like my Nana, but I can't see her face. Why wouldn't you want to be a voice and a face for your fucking grandkids? I'm sorry. Don't get me started.
100% agree with you on that.
Scared to show her. I don't know. There's no good reason for it. And you don't look for missing kids in private, especially if you think that they're alive somewhere. Even if you think they were trafficked, you look for your kids.
I have to agree. And that's what I'm like you. That's what pisses me off so bad is that they're not looking. They're, when you go on TV, Cheryl said she hadn't seen Malaya in like 2 years. Then you are no better than anybody else. You are not the one who should be talking for these kids because they didn't know you. Cheryl
Exactly.
or
Especially
Cindy,
if you
they
think that
knew.
they're, yeah, if you think that they're out there, if you keeping hope alive, you believe the kids are out there and you hope that they're alive and we keep hope. Do you? Because I hope they recognize Cindy's voice because they haven't heard from their fucking mother in 10 months, 11 months. They haven't heard her voice in how long? Let alone seen her face looking for them. They all need to.
Yeah.
This is so terrible. This is so terrible. This went way sideways in the last 5 minutes. I apologize, everybody.
Sorry.
What
But
should I put up
I mean, I
now?
agree with you. They need, if you're going to put a face out there, if you're going to put a name out there, and this person is, and I'll use this very loosely, pleading for Jack and Lily because I still haven't heard that from Malaya's side of the freaking family for shit, then what are you doing? Because if that, like you said, if Jack and Lily are watching TV, they're seeing people they don't know, and the people that they do know, they're hearing they're hearing her voice or their voices, but they're not seeing their faces. Like,
Do you think a 4 and 6-year-old or even a 5 and 6-year-old after 10 months would recognize their nana's voice, the little bit that they played on
nope.
the news? Of course not. Of course not. Could be something in her contract. I've got a non-disclosure and I'm not allowed to speak to the media in front of, like, under my company banner. I can't do that. But if my grandkids are missing, job be damned. Job be damned. I am public. I am in your face daily. I am looking for cameras who want to talk to me. Fuck that. I'm sorry. There I go again. Melissa, mute me.
Well, I hate to tell you to hush because I agree with everything you're saying. It's infuriating, and these Think back to a loved one. Everybody, think back to a loved one that is no longer here. How well do you hear their voice? And think back to when they passed. Without having a recording, how well do you think you would remember their voice after a year, after almost a year, 10 months, or almost to a year? You're not very well, especially if you're a kid, and a little kid at that. But I have to agree with you, and that's the infuriating part of it. And if my job were to tell me I could not go on TV and beg for my grandchildren to be returned, job can go fuck yourself, is what you can do, because I'm going to do what's right and I'm going to go plead for my grandchildren. End of story. They should come first. You can find another job. You can't find another Jack and Lily.
Especially especially if Malaya has, and I don't know, and I don't think there ever would be, but if Malaya has a good legitimate reason for not speaking out, and you're Malaya's mother, okay, Leo, and you're perfectly welcome here. This this is okay, but I need to know why. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because right now I got tunnel vision. Sorry, what about Sebastian? Sorry.
No, it was just a comment that said Seth is a good example. Exactly. Seth is a perfect example of what a parent does when you have a missing child. And he's only got one missing child. Malaya's got two, and she can't be bothered, and her family can't be bothered to be out looking, publicly voicing their opinions and voicing that they want these kids back. Seth is a perfect example of what you do when you truly love your child and your child is missing. And that's coming from somebody that's had a missing child. That is what you do. Not sit behind closed doors, do it in private, not talk, not beg for your children to be returned, not beg for their safety, any of that, because they don't do that. They don't. To my knowledge, I've not seen one interview where Malaya or Cindy or any of the rest of them have said, we love Jack and Lily. We want Jack and Lily back. Please bring them back. Please don't hurt them. Please, if you have them, just let us know. Nothing.
I wanted to show my face because I'm no hypocrite. I want to talk about this, but bad advice to quit your job. I understand that. However, just role play with me here for a second. Your grandkids are missing and you're not supposed to talk on the media, blah, blah, blah. And you do because your grandkids are missing. And you get fired for talking on the news about your missing grandchildren. You don't think you would have a leg to stand on for a wrongful dismissal? Contract or not, your grandchildren are missing. The public outrage would be extreme. We would all stand up for Cindy and her right to keep her fucking job for speaking out for her missing grandchildren. Oh man, that's a tough one for me to get on board with. Make it make sense. You can't. I don't think so. And there has to be circumstances that would allow it, like missing for your missing grandchildren. I do believe that. Yes, he does say all of this. So upsetting hearing all this crap. Put him in an echo chamber for a week, then ship him off to a funny farm. He can sit in his vacuum. It's okay. It's okay. As long as, I don't know. I don't want to say, I don't want to say what's in my head because it will come out wrong, but he can sit in his vacuum. And I believe that as long as we are wise to it, it's harmless. 25 years, I was a union representing healthcare workers, and there's nothing in her terms of employment stopping her from speaking up. Quit your job, no pay, lose your house. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Not in this case. there are supports out there for families who can't work because their children are missing. And that it's not saying that I don't think she would lose her job. I don't.
I would live in a tent and beg for my grandchildren to be returned before I would work for a job that says I can't show my face to beg for the safe return of my grandchildren who are missing and have been missing for 10 months. Job can go fuck themselves, because I'm going to beg for my grandchildren. If that means I'm living in a tent, guess what? Baby, we living in a tent. We're going to get a nice one. We're going to put some cardboard boxes up over them windows, and we're going to live there until the babies come home, and then I'll get a different job.
I think the mass majority of us believe that we think we know what we would do in that situation. And I know that Cheryl and Angeline said we just don't know Malaya. She's always been quiet, but there are times when you need to, get a backbone and stand up for your missing children and look for them publicly and fiercely. And if there's a reason why their mother can't do it, then their grandmother should be doing it. And that is just the end of the story, in my opinion. Um, I can't think of one. I can't think of a good reason.
Okay,
If
well,
they got together as a group and did it as a group and leaned on each other and supported each other, it would get easier. And all they have to do is look at the millions of other parents around America and Canada who have had missing children who beg for information, who put their faces, who silently, without a peep, make a public post on their Facebook pages with a missing person's photo. Literally. But we don't even see that. There's nothing. And then I've beaten that
perfect
horse to
example to
death.
that one, Char, is I don't like being on camera. You guys know this. That's why I'm never on camera. I can come on camera right now. I don't want to. I don't like being on camera. But when my son was missing, I was on camera. I was begging. I was pleading. I was ugly crying to millions of whoever. I was on TikTok. I was on Instagram. I was on Facebook. I was out looking. I damn near went to jail, told the cops, arrest me if you have to. I'm not leaving until somebody finds my son. I don't care. Arrest me. I would have willingly lost my house. And I'm not coming from a point of, I say, this is what I would do. This is what I did do. Because unfortunately, I'm one of the few people that can sit here on any of the panels that I've been on and say what it's like to have a missing child. And yes, mine wasn't missing for 10 months. I get that. But I don't care. I would have done and went to the ends of the earth for my child. I'm shy. I don't like being on camera. But if it took me getting on camera to find my son, then that's what I did. And I was ugly crying a lot. I didn't care. I wanted my child home. And if I wouldn't have done it, I guarantee you my family would have.
Okay, a wrongful dismissal could take 2 years to settle. So how does Cindy pay her mortgage? So you're assuming that, oh, I go on the news and say, please help me find my missing grandchildren. Jack is 5, Lily's 6. Here's what they look like. Here's a picture. Cry a little bit. I miss them. I need them. I believe they're out there somewhere. Please keep your eye open for them. Do something like that. And mainstream media edits it. So you're talking 30 seconds to 1 minute that you're on the news begging for your grandchildren, even if whoever she works for is heartless enough to say, you were on the news, you're fired. You're assuming that right then and there, the bank is going to say, hey, you were fired, get out. That's my mortgage. You're not able to pay it anymore. It doesn't work like that. That would never happen. That is living in a that would never happen. That would never happen. Not in a million years. Not, no way. And if it did, holy shit, would there be backlash for that? My gosh. And a wrongful dismissal suit, something like that, I think it would move a lot quicker. Absolutely. Don't forget, I work in HR. I know how, in Alberta, anyways, I know how quickly the labor board comes at you for stuff like that. I do. It doesn't work like that. And I know how long it takes a bank to get rid of you for and put your house in foreclosure. Like it just doesn't work like that. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. People putting your home in mortgage that could possibly be taken from you years down the road up against possibly finding your grandkids. It's ludicrous, in my opinion. In my opinion. And we don't even know for sure if that's her reason because she hasn't said. She hasn't told anybody. Not at all. And if she's scared to lose her job, then maybe a discussion with her employer saying, "Hey, do you mind if I look for my grandchildren on the news? Do you mind if I beg for information about my missing grandchildren on the news because my daughter is maybe too mentally ill to do it herself and the stepdad can't be consistent? The entire case has turned into a shit show. Do you mind if I go on and beg for the safe return of my grandchildren?" You got to give me just a small break with that. You really do. Yeah, you really do. Didn't Malaya say in the first interview she spent the worst night not having them in their beds? Last night was one of the worst nights. Weird.
One of, not
One of.
the worst.
Not the worst. One of. I am just totally losing my shit today. Judgmental. No, none of us know the situation. Y'all are shaming the grandmother. Weird. You're right. We don't know the situation. We don't know the life they live. But what I do know is that nobody is looking for Jack and Lily Chip. Nobody that they'd recognize, anyways.
Well,
Daniel's
I
not
gotta
even
hop
talking
in here
anymore.
because his next comment is maybe they were told not to speak about it. They are following the rules. No rule says, I don't care. The RCMP can go on, and what the RCMP said themselves is they did not tell the family not to speak about it. What they said was to be careful what you share about it. So just going on and saying and begging for the safe return of the kids is not breaking that rule that the RCMP said they put in place. RCMP just said, be careful what you say. That came out of McCammon's mouth himself.
There is another one here from Leo. I want to say, banks don't care. I know, but you miss how many mortgage payments? I had my ex, his obviously his mortgage, and I've talked before about his schizoaffective, and he went into a spiral, and he wasn't able to pay his mortgage, and then he was in the hospital, and he wasn't paying his mortgage, and it was literally a visit to the bank by me, who wasn't even on his mortgage, to explain the situation, show the proof that what he was going through was true and real. And guess what? There was a program placed in his mortgage to help him get through that. And that went on for 2 years. Those payments don't go away. It's not just a free pass, but those payments are tacked on to the end of the mortgage. So don't give me the excuses, okay? And I am not here shaming anybody. I would like to know why we can't even show our faces. And like I said, we can't even make a public post using our social media with missing persons posters. To me, that's not shaming anybody. That's asking a legitimate question. The RCMP themselves said that they were not told not to talk. They were asked to be careful about the information they shared. Period.
So let me ask you this, and this goes for everybody in the chat as well. If you are sitting on the toilet and you're taking a shit and you're thinking about your kids, and I know this is a really bad analogy, but follow me. It takes you what, 10 seconds to share their pictures and say, I miss my babies. I wish they were home. That's it. Like 10 seconds. That's all you got to say. Or if you have any information on my babies, please let me know. You can do it while you're on the toilet taking a shit. So it's not like it takes that long. It doesn't take hours on end to literally post on social media, where are my babies? And none of them are doing it. She made one. Malaya made one Facebook post. One. And it was calling for an Amber Alert. And I have that.
And then it was deleted shortly thereafter. Chip, so they let Daniel speak so he can bury himself. Fair, but could you imagine? Could you imagine how fast he would have buried himself if they were out there discrediting the stuff that he was saying? And how quickly he would have to change his story? It didn't work. Their silence spoke volumes in a completely different way, unfortunately. It didn't help anything. Certainly didn't help Jack and Lily. I'm just Holly, thanks for being here, but I'm just stayed on too long today. 2 hours and 51 minutes, and now I'm all pissed off. So, it's a unionized job. You are right. Your rights are defended. It's absurd. Morally, and yeah.
My question, Char, is why are we begging and pleading for Jack and Lily when their own biological family, and I mean on Malaya's side, I don't mean Chelsea, I don't mean Belinda, when their own family is not? That says a lot.
Playing devil's advocate, if they are no longer alive and she was appealing, searching, and they know they are deceased, then everyone say they will go absolutely ballistic and say she is disgusting. Then she's disgusting. The only excuse, and like I said, the only excuse is if they know what happened to the kids, they know the kids are no longer alive, they just don't know where they are, and the RCMP have asked them not to talk. But I've been told that that's not the case. So, and the letter that Malaya put out, she hopes the kids are alive. She still has hope the kids are alive. I believe in the interview, all three of them said they hope the kids are still alive. So they don't know shit. Allegedly. It was alleged Malaya started dating some time ago. Yeah. We don't. I was just throwing that out there. I have no idea. Um, I do too. I don't know who Leo is, but I have a feeling it's somebody who's maybe possibly on Malaya's side of the family. Absolutely, we do. We absolutely do. But nobody is looking for the children, Leo. And I don't think you'll ever be able to make it make sense to normal people with common sense and any kind of moral compass. I'll never believe Malaya knew anything or knows anything. Her narrative was derived from Daniel. I don't disagree with you. And the fact is, I don't know what happened. But as a grandmother myself, I cannot imagine what it would be like to not know where my children are and to not know where my grandchildren are. And I cannot picture myself being silent or not wanting to show my face. And if I believe they were out there looking into the camera and pleading for them to stay strong, you know, we love you. We're never going to stop looking for you. if they thought they were alive. And if they didn't, even putting their pictures out there, if you've seen anything, even little things, you've all seen the interviews of parents that are actually looking for their kids. You've seen them.
And let's bring up with this whole social media posting. I see it.
I gotta go let Harley in. I can hear him barking, but go ahead.
Okay. I see it almost every day when I log on to Facebook or when I refresh my Facebook because it's up all the time. I constantly see the then and now photos from Belinda. And the then photos really aren't that great, but always her now is a picture of Jack and Lilly, either their missing poster or Jack and Lilly themselves. She is constantly bringing up their names and posting about them. Why the hell is Malaya's family and Malaya not doing the same? If Belinda can do it and Belinda's out there searching, then why can't they? Answer me that. It's not a complicated question. How hard is it to post on social media for your missing children? It's that simple. And I'm not trying to attack the family. I'm not trying to blame the family. But I've been in their shoes. And under no circumstances, none, would I not speak out about my children. Belinda does it every day. Every day, at least one post. She may post other stuff, but every day she posts at least one time about Jack and Lilly. And like I said, it's either their missing poster or their pictures. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I've been there. I've done that. I got the t-shirt. I don't want to go back. Little did I know that 6 months after my son would go missing, the same people would fucking kill him. But I was out there every day looking, searching, begging for help. Because that was my job as his mother. Where is Malaya? Where is her family? Where is their concern?
This is a question a lot of people have. I don't have the answer. And honestly, I don't think that Belinda or Chelsea or even Daleen, I don't think any of them have an answer for this. If, like, I don't know if he's involved in any of the, like, boots on the ground searching. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't know. Was there something that Universal said? Can't find it. Sorry, guys. And that's, that's one of the reasons why Melissa's opinions and her point of view are so valuable in this case, because I know a lot of people in my chats have experienced this, but a lot of don't. They're not on YouTube. They're not talking heads online, and Melissa is willing to, and her perspective is it's priceless in this, because thankfully I cannot relate, but Melissa
So
can.
I want to respond to this one. And I'm sorry, I'm upset right now. I don't mean to be, guys. But when Nick went missing, I called his dad. And as soon as his dad heard my voice, he hung up the phone. Didn't even let me get out what I was going to say. So I called his grandma, Nick's grandma, which is my ex-husband's mother. And I asked her, I said, have you heard from Nick? Have you seen Nick? And they said, no, We haven't. Don't fucking call here again. Six months later, they show up to his funeral and want to play the grieving parent. Where were you when he was missing? So I understand everybody wants to know where Cody is. But Cody didn't have custody. Cody didn't see the kids. That would be like saying, why isn't, say, Joe Smo down the street begging? And I don't mean to say that in a bad way. I don't. But Cody didn't have a relationship with the kids for a while. So I can understand him not wanting to be in the public eye and deal with being blamed when he knows and the RCMP has cleared him. And now I need a break for a minute.
I'm here. There are certain things that we don't know and that we can't understand, but are not nefarious, like Cody's involvement or lack thereof in searching for Jack and Lily. I don't know, but I don't think it can be looked at as suspicious or, again, if Cody went on the news and begged for information, Jack and Lily would have no idea who he was. If they're out there watching cartoons and a commercial came on or a news story came on one night, they wouldn't have a clue who he was. I'm going to say this once. I know a lot about this case. I can assure you that neither Daniel nor Malaya had anything to do with the kid's disappearance. You know what, Leo? If I'm being honest, I am leaning more now towards an abduction than I ever have. Ever have. So I cannot disagree with you there. But that does not take away from, well, that just adds to it. The need for Jack and Lily's family to stand up and speak for them. That that's the only part that gets me fired up. All the online shit, all the bullshit that goes on, the stuff that Derwood says used to get me worked up, but it doesn't anymore. It is what it is. This is what it is. The only thing that gets me worked up is the lack of representation that Jack and Lily have, to the point where we need um um the mother's friend's sister to be the voice box for the mom. You know? Um Hello, Corbin. If you know a lot about the case and you know that Daniel Malaya didn't kill these kids, then it's time for you to speak up and tell us what happened to Lily and Jack. When they say like Leo the lion, truth seeker, I think we can safely assume it's not somebody that knows what happened to Jack and Lily. It's more than likely somebody, I'm not saying it is, but somebody more like a Cheryl or an Angeline or, you know, people that just really, really want to stick up for Malaya's right to be silent. What's bullshit? You're expecting a shitty mother to all of a sudden not be shitty. I've accepted that. What I wasn't expecting was the rest of the family to be shitty. There's so much guilt and shame here, so much mental issues, poor families, sad history, sad stories, compassion needed. Nobody has capacity for anything. I disagree. I think we're a very compassionate channel, and I don't know. Sometimes I'm allowed to get mad, and I did. I got mad. I apologized. You told the chat on Shan's chat that you work at the courthouse and you have all the inside information on the case. You're liar and troll, in my opinion. Oh, really? Interesting. I have no idea. That'd be interesting. Maybe my mod can send that to me after so I'm better prepared for the next time Leo decides to show up. Um, Mayflower. Hmm. The RCMP should be notified saying that this person legal knows so much about the case and that Daniel and Malaya did not kill the kids. They need to question this person. Absolutely. And Corbin, make no mistake, the way it works, that's probably already been emailed to John. Don't even worry about it. I don't even know why you would invite. Bizarre. Sure, facts are scarce, assumptions are way out of hand. Someone will stand up soon and speak. I feel it. I hope so. I hope so. I bet the farm these aren't his only two. Logan, are you thinking? No. Nah. Yeah, Cody didn't sign his rights away. He simply didn't exercise them. He's always going to be their father, but is he going to be their dad or their main caregiver? Never, probably never. No. I believe Lily and Jack are alive, as I have stated before. Malaya and Cindy needs to speak the fuck up. Yell to the world to bring the kids back safe and sound. Stop with the BS and speak for once. I agree. But mom would be silent. Not this mom. Tell you that much. Yeah, no, there are no, there's no proof of anything, and I feel like if you have information, you know so much about the case, so just tell it to the investigators, and um, yeah. Shan gave Leo a link and offered over and over for Leo to talk live on the show. Leo chickened out. And I won't do anything like that just because I don't know who Leo is. If Leo wanted to identify themselves to me privately, I mean their identity is safe with me, absolutely. But I'm not playing that game. I'm not here to let everybody just come up on the if something is said in chat, that's a different thing. That's us having a conversation, right? With the chatters and everybody's got their own opinions, their own ideas. That's the idea. But my thing is, if I've got somebody coming up on the live, unless it's a members only or clearly stated that I don't know this person and I don't know what they're going to say, I'm not interested in putting that kind of stuff out because it can be screen recorded and taken out of context. Anybody that wants to come up and talk is free to, but you got to show me who you are and you have to tell me how you know what you know. If they weren't neglected, we wouldn't be here. Yeah. Thank you, Anastasia. And I usually do pretty good at just keeping it under wraps, but usually I'm screaming inside because I can't say what I want to. But then other days I just get word vomit. I've gone through it myself with my daughter's father. When CPS took her, he couldn't even get visiting rights to her. Or you should do that on Shan's channel, not here. Who'd come on though? Everyone who talks publicly gets doxxed. Again, who comes up here, Holly? And I'm not putting myself above any others, but who gets doxxed if they come up here? If you want to show me who you are, like in real life, show me who you are, and then come up here like Melissa does with a little avatar so I know who I'm talking to, that's not being doxxed, right? Does that make sense? People who speak up about the case get attacked. That's what happens. Melissa has posted in chat. I assume she's okay. I have to assume she's okay.
I'm okay. I'm just I probably shouldn't cover missing kids considering my history with my own child. But that is why I cover missing kids, because I've been there and I've done that. And I know what they're going through, where you don't know if they're okay. You don't know if they're warm. You don't know if they're fed. You don't know if they're wanting you or calling out for you. And my emotions with this case today, with the topic that we're on, has just got my emotions everywhere. I'm okay. I'm just a little emotional with all of this topic, I guess.
And just, it's a little bit dark what that made me think of, but I would wonder what happened to them. I would wonder what happened to my children, and I wonder what even, it's terrible to say it, but I do wonder all the time. Like when I'm watching even videos, like drone videos and stuff of people in Nova Scotia or Darius McDougall was the worst one, like recently the worst one when I'm driving through the Crow's Nest Pass and I'm literally just going from my house in BC to my daughter's in Lethbridge. You have to drive through the Crow's Nest Pass. And I find the campground where Darius's family was staying when he went missing. And I've got my video camera up and I'm recording and I only did it for maybe 10 seconds. And then I had to stop because I kind of lost my breath because I'm thinking Darius could be out here somewhere. He is out here somewhere. What is the last thing that he saw? What was the last thing that he felt? Was he kidnapped? Is he okay? Is he terrified? Does he know what's happening to him? Does he understand? And that's not even my child. That's not even a case that I'm actively covering with his family. But when it comes to Jack and Lily, if I was in Nova Scotia and I had to drive through and I would go to Lansdowne and I would be wondering, is Jack and Lily out here? What was the last thing that they saw? Are they okay? Are they terrified? Do they understand what's happening to them right now? And for mom and grandma, are they thinking that? Because we don't know. They don't share that stuff with the public. which is fine. That's their prerogative, but they're also not sharing their faces. It makes me think back to that one comment that Malaya made about why Daniel is, not being honest or what he's doing on social media. And she made a comment like he just likes the attention. He should be more focused on finding my kids. The fuck did she say? And that stopped every one of us in our tracks. We were like, did she just say that for real? She did. But that was pretty early on. But here we are almost 11 months later and still crickets. It's terrible. The victims in this case are the children, nobody else. Right. Right. So, you guys, I think I'm just about done. I wanted to put this out there really quickly because we all know that I've been talking about um, me going to Pictou, Nova Scotia. Um, I was hoping it would be to celebrate the return of Jack and Lily. I thought, I thought maybe it would be, to help a search effort, which, if there is one, absolutely. Um, but when I do go, I want to do like a group thing with those of you that have asked to, get together with me or whatever, meet me, whatever. I'm into it. And I was talking to somebody today and there's a Airbnb in New Brunswick. And I just want to know if there would be anybody that would be willing to do or be interested in doing like a little 2-day adventure with me outside of Nova Scotia, just in New Brunswick, but then most of the time spent obviously in Nova Scotia. So I just wanted to put that out there today. More details to come. And the full transparency, the Airbnb is uh, the closed down prison. Oh, do you live in New Brunswick? Which one is it? Just a minute. I'll play it. What is this? Yeah. Okay. I'll play it. I'll play it. I'll play it. Just give me 1 second. I'm not trying to make light. I'm just trying to like lighten the mood a little bit. All right, nobody judge me because this is kind of what I'm into. But I'm interested in doing this and would like to make it an event. And if anybody is interested, y'all can let me know. How do I get rid of this? Jail and thank you. Yes, that's the one. I do want to make an event out of it. Just a 2-dayer. 2-dayer. Let's do it. But here we go. Let's listen. Probably not listen, but watch. Do you think that would be fantastic? I think that would be fantastic.
That would be pretty freaking cool.
They seem to have a whole section on death row. Morbid? Maybe. Fantastic.
Am I the only one who's thinking that I would be also moonlighting as a ghost hunter in this place?
Uh, do not do it to this is the prison, and it's condemned or shut down or whatever. It's not used anymore, but they've made an Airbnb out of it. It's crazy. I think it's a fantastic idea, and so here it goes. I I went to it and I clicked the link to see if I could book it, whatever, and I tried to do like an event, but it only let me book for 2 adults. So I'm gonna contact them and see if there is a way to book like an event. And it's not something that I have the funds to pay for out of my own pocket, but just so you know, for the 2 nights for 2 adults, it came to $365. So that would work out to, including food, I would think to like probably just over $100 a day per person. And it would be like a 2-day thing. And they do have like ghost hunting adventures. And I guess it's got a really nice view of some bay. There's stuff to do. And I think that it would be fantastic if we could do like an event. And whoever wants to go, like I'll find out the capacity or however many people. And I think it would be fantastic and something to do. Not, oh my God, don't say that. No, no, never in a million years. What? You don't want to stay in a jail? I'll be flying. I mean, you'd have to get there on your own. I apologize. If I had the money, I would do it. I swear to God, I would do it with everybody. I think it would be great. But I think it looks fantastic. It looks so much fun. And I think it would be a good bonding experience, almost as good as Namaste. Am I right? I'm right. I know I'm right. And you guys can have, I don't know, I've heard restaurants and stuff out east are fantastic. So much to do, I think. Absolutely, you're more than welcome to join in. And like I said, I'm thinking like 2 days here and then 5 days in Nova Scotia. Um, hopefully, join into some searching, or if I'm able to make it out there May 1st, then there will be memorials on May 2nd. There will be some kind of remembrance on May 2nd. Attend that kind of thing. Um, just be there, show my support for the community. There is absolutely nobody, no member of the family that I feel wants or needs our support. They're not certainly not asking for it. So I would be going to meet and support you all and to, be a voice for Jack and Lily, and you know, hopefully meet Belinda. And, you know, I just want to go. I want to be there. I want to see the bench. There are things that I want to do. So yeah, but New Brunswick has the prison Airbnb, Leo. That's right up my alley. Love it. Yeah. So there's that. Love that idea. I'm all over that. Okay, so I will wait till Monday, and um I'll contact this Airbnb and see if there's the possibility of booking an event. Probably have to put a cap on the the number of people, but I will find out and I will get back to you and we'll make a plan. We'll do it. Melissa, are you in? You have a passport? Oh shit, you can't get your passport.
Nope, I can't get it. Well, I could get a passport if I flew down to Florida, figured out my birth certificate issue, and then applied for one. But I can't fly, and I don't have the funds to drive. So yeah.
16 hours from where? Not Pictou, right? That's not right.
Yeah, if I could fly, I would definitely be in, but
You just
unfortunately,
listed all the shit that I love, except for the clam chips. But lobster? Sign me up. Haddock? Yum. Scallops? I'll eat them for sure. Okay, you guys, I gotta go because I have to go pick up Ian at the truck wash in an hour, and apparently he's taking me for dinner. So I think, by the sounds of things, my hair's okay, so I don't have to do that. But I am wearing sweatpants, so I have to get myself ready, feed Harley, do all that lovely stuff. It's been 3.5 hours. I appreciate everybody for being here. I'll let you know about this, and I don't mean to apologize again, but I'm going to for being a loud mouth today, a big mouth. Can't wait to see Monsters of Sabotage. Probably have me puking rainbows again or some shit, but whatever. Thank you, Melissa, for being here. And if I can, I'm gonna do a Epstein and Nancy live later, depending on how dinner goes. Maybe I'll get drunk. We'll see. Have a terrific night, everybody. I will see you tomorrow for definite sure, though. Okay? 1 hour and 30 from Pictou? Perfect. Perfect. Melissa, thanks for being here. Did I take you off stage?
you're welcome. No,
Oh, you're right there. Okay, there you are. Thank God. Okay, that's it. I'm going. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
We're going down. We're going down. We're going